called it quits with her roommate.
She wanted to move out. She was uncomfortable with him.
It wasn't only because I just only felt uncomfortable. He was like harassing me.
Who was?
Jarrell.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
24-year-old Jamal Wren is suing his ex-roommate, Jacqueline Ying, for breaching their lease, late fees, and damages.
Order. All rise. This is case number 252 on the calendar in the matter of Wren versus Ying.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Wren, the defendant used to date your best friend. You dated his best friend whose name is?
Jarrell.
Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
But you and the plaintiff were friends.
Yes.
Friends enough so that you rented an apartment together.
Yes.
Just the two of you were on the lease.
Correct.
Jarrell wasn't on the lease because he didn't have a job yet. But the plan was for the three of you to live together. Was this a two-bedroom apartment?
Yes.
You moved in month and year.
We moved in the beginning of October.
You moved out 4 months prior to the termination of the lease.
Correct.
You moved out, according to what I read, you and Jarrell had an argument, broke up. You stayed in the apartment because your name is on the lease. He left, correct?
Correct.
What month and year was that? When did you and Jarrell break up?
And February 24th.
But what it looks like happened, you broke up, he left, the two of you were in the apartment, you were both on the lease, and that's the way it was going to remain until, according to you, sir, allowed Jarrell back into the apartment because he was your friend.
Can I comment on that?
Yes, I want you to.
Well, he actually had a key.
Okay, he had a key and he let himself into the apartment.
Right.
He wasn't paying rent.
Right.
But the defendant told you she didn't like him in the apartment.
Well, she gave him the key. I never
But that
gave
was
him the key.
before.
But I kept asking it for it back.
That was before they had a fight on February 24th.
Right.
Right. Then she didn't want him in the apartment anymore.
She never expressed that to me.
Never.
Not at that time.
No. At what time did she express it to you?
Not until she was talking about moving out.
Well, tell me what month that was.
When she first brought it up, it was around May, June-ish.
May. And at that time, she had a new boyfriend?
Yes.
And Jarrell was still coming into the house?
Yes.
And she said to you, I feel uncomfortable about this?
No.
Well, what did she say to you in May?
Well, with him,
Well, that's what I'm asking you, about her being uncomfortable with him in the house.
Right.
Of course, what this is about is you want the last 4 months' rent that she didn't pay because she moved out. She says she moved out because you made it uncomfortable by allowing her ex-boyfriend to be in the house.
Right, and so she went ahead and changed the locks.
Well, it wasn't only because I just only felt uncomfortable. He was like harassing me.
Who was?
Jarrell was harassing me.
Who was?
Over text messages, and he was mad because I had a new boyfriend.
What does that have to do with him?
Well, I mean,
what does that have to do with him? The three of you moved into an apartment together. You were responsible for, according to the lease, half the rent on the lease. He didn't have a fight with your boyfriend. You had a fight with your boyfriend.
But he was making it seem like he was being he was controlling the house.
Did you say to him, look, Jarrell is your friend. I can't tell you not to have Jarrell as a friend. I will stay in the apartment because I caused this trouble. I broke up with my boyfriend.
I was trying to stay in the apartment.
No, I will stay in the apartment alone, without you. I will find another roommate, or not for the next 4 months. I will change the locks to preclude him from coming in because he's not on the lease, and I will enforce that. Did you and him moving out?
I tried to get off the lease.
No, that's not what I'm saying to you. Not for you to get off the lease. What you're not following my saying to you is you and your boyfriend caused this problem for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You and your boyfriend, the intention was the three of you to live together. He's obligated on a lease. You two have a fight. He gets stuck paying the rent. So what I'm saying to you is you can listen. You're not having your listening ears on. Your mother?
Yes.
Yeah.
Witness.
Well, you're not having your listening ears on, and you don't talk to me from there. What I'm saying to you is, did you offer him the opportunity, the plaintiff, and say to him, Jarrell is your friend. You want him to come to your apartment. I'm not comfortable with that. So
yeah,
I will.
Actually,
you're not following me because you're using this instead of this. I will stay in the apartment and assume the whole rent. You move out. into another apartment, and you can have Jarrell come and stay with you, come over and visit you Saturday night, come and watch football on Sunday if he's not living with you. Did you offer him that opportunity? You told me you tried to get off the lease. It's not a question of you getting off the lease. You two caused the problem for him.
I did tell him, like, I told him that I wanted to change the locks because I didn't want him to be coming into the house
Just a
anymore.
second. He pays half the rent. You can say to him, I will stay, and this is very uncomfortable for me, and I will stay in the apartment. You find another apartment and have Jarrell come and see you as often as you like. I will stay here. Not you leave, you stay and pay the rent.
The lease says that because we've signed the lease together, they have to have a matching financial...
well, then you discuss it with your mother.
No.
And say to your mother, will you co-sign for me for the next 4 months? Because I want to live here alone. I don't want to live with Jarrell. He didn't have anything to do with you breaking up with your boyfriend. Nothing.
I told him that I wanted to get off the lease.
Well, yeah, that's not what I'm saying to you. Not you getting off the lease. You staying on the lease, staying in the apartment. He moves out and takes Jarrell with him.
I had a restraining order on him, and he was harassing me, and he was just like...
Did you have a hearing on a restraining order? Did you have a hearing on a restraining order against Jarrell? Is the answer yes or no? The answer is no. So you get an ex parte restraining order when he wasn't present. Do you have a hearing date for it, or did you just not show up?
I didn't show up.
Well, that's the answer. Then I'm not interested in it. What I'm telling you is he's entitled to his 4 months' rent. Did you move out 4 months early?
Yes.
What? What?
Can I stand up?
Sure.
Okay, just make sure I'm doing it right. Jacqueline, that... Yeah, show it.
No. Don't show me anything. She has evidence from management showing that
Jackie did, on multiple occasions, go to the office and ask to have meetings to get her off the lease. That's how it works.
Listen to me. You're not following me. Your daughter and her boyfriend had a fight.
Correct.
They all moved in together. That's not the plaintiff's fault. What your daughter wanted to do was to get out of the lease because they were still friends and he was coming over. And it made her uncomfortable. And what I said to your daughter, which you weren't listening or processing, was it's not his fault that they had a fight. If your daughter was uncomfortable with the two of them because they were friends, then your daughter should have said to him, I will stay and assume the rent for this apartment for the next 4 months. You move out. I can't get off the lease, but I will obligate myself to pay the whole rent if I can't get another roommate. I'm not going to move.
But what if Jamal doesn't want to move out then? And
just a second. I asked her one question. I said, did you offer him that opportunity? Now, if she had offered him that opportunity and said, listen, I will assume the rent. It didn't work out as we planned.
Correct.
And it didn't work out not because of anything you did, but because of something I did and because of something he did on this, because he wasn't on the lease. You move out. If he said, no, I want to stay, then I'd have a little more sympathy with her. But what she's doing is she was the cause of the problem, and she wants to stick him with the 4 months' rent. And that's untenable. She can't say to somebody who's paying half the rent in the apartment, this is who I'm comfortable having in the apartment, and this is who I'm not comfortable having in the apartment. He's not 12. He's not living under his mother's. He's paying half the rent and the utilities. She can't say to him, I'm uncomfortable.
Your Honor, I've tried multiple times to reach out to management, and management was trying to reach out to Jamal, trying to get me off the lease.
You keep saying get you off the lease. I'm saying you stay on the lease. He gets off the lease.
But
aren't you listening to me? I mean, you said it 20 times, and I'm trying. And your mother said the same thing. I'm not interested in you getting off the lease. I'm interested in him getting off the lease and you getting stuck with the lease for 4 months. Just like you wanted to stick him for the rent for 4 months, the whole rent. It's not his fault you broke up with your boyfriend. Ugh, what was her share of the rent for 4 months?
So basically, the rent was...
I don't want to hear basically. Basically is a filler word. I would like to hear what her half of the rent was.
Well, basically... excuse me. I was paying $600.
How much was she paying?
Because they'd be paid late a lot of times, so I'm not exactly sure
what was she supposed to pay.
It was like $400. Yeah, basically about $400.
Not basically, not like. How much was your rent?
$400.
But the full rent was like $1,000.
You moved in as 3 people, and that was the plan. 3 people were going to be on the lease when he got a job. I don't know whether he ever got a job. So your piece of the rent was $400?
$400.
That's $1,600. You have a counterclaim that's ridiculous for emotional distress because he let Jamal into his apartment. It's dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,600. We're
Your
done.
Honor.
We're done.
Parties are excused and they step out.
I never had a problem until she wanted to move out.
He wasn't working with me. Like, he wasn't trying to get me off the lease.
It wasn't an uncomfortable thing until she made it uncomfortable.
Because he was being, like, harassing me and just, like, threatening me all the time.
Living on my own.
Yeah, I just want to be left alone. I didn't want to have anything to do with him anymore.
Better off that way, like my grandpa showed me.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Davis versus Welch. Step forward.
Angel Davis is suing her son, Carathis Welch, and his ex-wife, Vanessa, for a loan to pay off credit card debt.
Miss Davis, with him is his ex-wife. Are you currently divorced? It is your claim that you made a loan to your son sometime after the initiation of divorce proceedings when he was going through some financial difficulty, and the loan was supposedly used to pay off credit cards.
Yes.
And you never had a discussion with your former daughter-in-law about it, but it is your claim that since she also incurred those credit card debts, she should be responsible for this loan.
Correct.
Right. Well, she's not.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't care what your impression was. She says that the $2,800 she gave you for a lawyer, she gave you.
Right.
She says that months later, she gave you another $4,800. Did she?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Angel Davis says her son, Carathis Welch, and ex-wife Vanessa owe for a loan to pay off their credit card debt.
I want you to tell me in what month and year you allege that your son asked you for money.
The first time he asked me, he retained a lawyer, and I gave him that money. He's my only child.
When? Month and year?
That was in March
Of last year?
of $20.
And was that the first time you had given him any money?
Other than small loans, that was substantial.
You have children together?
Yes.
How many?
One.
How old?
3 years. Well, she's
He'll be four.
4 tomorrow.
You share custody?
Yes.
And is that working out okay?
Yes.
Great. Like to hear it. So that was in March of 2017. When was the next time your son asked you for money? Because that, you say you gave him.
In May, he asked for a loan.
In May, after he had retained a lawyer.
Correct.
Tell me where you were when he asked you for a loan.
I was at home and he called me.
Tell me what the conversation was.
He called and said, Mom, I don't know how I did it. I didn't make my house payment. I can't make it this month if you can loan me some money.
And how much was his house payment?
His house payment, I believe, is almost $1,000.
Well, how much money did you loan him?
$689.
Where did you get that figure from?
I saw it on the check. I didn't even remember until I was looking for the information for the case. The amount, I didn't remember. I just knew it was the first loan.
Just a second. So you gave him $689.
Correct.
To make a house payment.
It was toward his house payment. He was short.
And when was the next time?
Approximately 2 weeks later, he called me and asked, he said, Mom, I can't pay these bills. I'm behind. It's stressing me out. Commuting for the baby, work. I need some help. So I loaned him $4,800 to pay his credit card so he wouldn't have that monthly.
And you did that by check?
Yes, I did.
Made payable to him?
Yes, I did.
And that was in what month?
That was in June, but if I can say something, Your Honor, when I wrote the check, I was so stressed out about writing such a big check, I wrote the wrong month on it. But I do have the bank statements to show that it was the same time I wrote the check, in June.
What date does it have on it?
April 2017.
I'm ready.
I did go to my mom and ask her for help. She did help me with the attorney, but I asked her for help. It wasn't, I wasn't under the impression I was going to be paying her back.
Well, that's the $2,800. She says that...
Yes.
Not doing it for me.
Okay.
You know that.
I know.
Good. I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know.
I wasn't under the impression that I was paying her back.
I don't care what your impression was. She says that the $2,800 she gave you for a lawyer, she gave you.
Right.
She says that months later, she gave you another $4,800. Did she?
Yes.
When?
I believe that was in June.
In what month did you and your wife separate?
In March of 2017.
And this check was written out in April.
The original.
I'd like to see that.
Okay.
You can sit down. You have nothing to do with this case. What this suggests to me is the same day that you wrote a check out, or the check was cashed on June 19th, you transferred $4,500 from your savings account into your checking account.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct. I think I was traumatized from writing the check. I put the wrong month.
You also wrote the wrong amount in the...
Yes.
How many children do you have, Miss Davis?
That's my only child.
Do you see your grandchild?
I do see my grandchild.
It's a girl?
It's a girl, yes it is.
You see her when she's both with her mother and her father?
Now I do, both. I don't see him as much as I do the wife.
So my question is, before you started a proceeding against your son, what efforts did you make to try to resolve this family situation?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So what did you do?
I called the Judge Judy show because I was watching it.
Why'd you call me instead of going to small claims court?
I was watching TV and I said, I'm going to file a case.
Angel Davis says her son, Carathis Welch, and ex-wife Vanessa owe for a loan to pay off their credit card debt.
What efforts did you make to try to resolve this family situation?
I have made efforts. I talked to my son about the loan because in January, when he got his income tax, he said, Mom, I'm going to give you something. I said, okay, whatever he gives me, I'm good. And he didn't.
We're getting a little muddy here.
Yeah, it is.
No, we're getting a little muddy here. I'm going to tell you why. You wrote this check out, according to you, in June.
Correct.
And he was supposed to pay you from his tax returns?
Yes, there was going to be a delay I knew, in getting the payment.
So he wrote this in June of 2017. And you were expecting payment in, let's say, January or February of 2018.
Just payment, correct. Some payments, money.
Well, when you didn't get any payment in January, February, or March of 2018, tell me about the conversations that you had with your son.
I talked to my son. I said, it's bothering me that you haven't paid me. He said, I'm going to start paying you, Mom. If you give me your account number, I'll start where it'll come straight to your account. I said, I'm not doing that, but you can write me a check, just like I wrote you a check, and start paying me. He said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it, Mom. So I said, and then in September, when I said I asked my son for money again, I said, it's bothering me that you haven't paid me, and I need you
Anything?
Well, no, he had gave me, I got $100 from him, and that was it. He said, Mom, I got my bills straight, I redid everything, I can start paying you now. Everything's good now. And he didn't, and that's when I was watching TV, and I said, I'm going to file a case.
So what did you do?
I called Judge Judy show because I was watching it.
Why'd you call me instead of going to small claims court?
Well, it said, you can do it. I said, let me try this first. And then I filed the case.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you in a family dispute? Go to JudgeJudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
I think you should go to your local small claims court.
I
think that that's what you should do if you want to sue your son. I think that you should go to small claims court. I'm going to let you do that.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
We're done. Thank you.
All right, just excuse me. Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's over a year and there's been no good faith in paying me.
I tried to make a payment plan, but
He said, Mom, I'm going to start giving you $100 a month.
I'm a single dad.
I love my son. That's my only child.
She's my mom, and I love her.
Love him to death.
I hope that we can
It's time for me to get paid.
square things away and move forward.
Oh, I'm going to get my money.
How long were you his girlfriend?
We just broke up a couple months ago. That is a lie, Your Honor.
You don't know that. Not only did he go to prison for assaulting you, but he married somebody else with whom he has 3 children, including a 5-month-old baby. What were you doing back with him?
I was deeply in love with him. I know it sounds crazy, but...
You were madly in love with what?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Dorothea Lockhart is suing her husband's ex-girlfriend, Dalquisha Taylor, for vandalizing her vehicle.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 194 on the calendar, the matter of Lockhart versus Taylor.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Oh, my God, this case is so fascinating. Miss Lockhart, the defendant...
Ex.
What?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. That's his ex-girlfriend.
I said.
Right,
the defendant is your husband's ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
You and your husband have been married for how many years?
A year.
Are you the husband?
Yes.
How long were you his girlfriend?
We just broke up a couple months ago. That is a lie, Your Honor.
Just a second. You don't know that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you have children together?
3.
How old are they?
5 months, 7, and 10, 11.
Do you have any children together?
No, ma'am.
Now, it is your claim, Miss Lockhart, that Miss Taylor vandalized your car.
Yes.
It is Miss Taylor's assertion that she did not vandalize your car, but on the same day that your car was vandalized, you assaulted her.
Yes. I didn't assault her. I have my police report.
That's what the case is about. I'm just outlining what the case is about. Where were you when all this was going on?
I wasn't there.
Where were you?
I wasn't there when it happened.
Where were you?
I was at home.
Louder!
I was at the house asleep.
Which house? Whose
My
house?
house. My cousin's house.
The house that you live in with her or somebody else's house?
Somebody else's house.
So you don't live with her and your 3 children?
Yes, I want to live in there, but I wasn't there at the time.
Well, this happened late at night with her car.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
What were you doing at your cousin's house?
I just was at my cousin's house. I wasn't at home at the time.
What time did this happen?
I woke up at maybe 8 to go to work, and that's
8
when...
in the morning?
Yeah, that's
So
when I
you
noticed
didn't
that my car was messed up.
So you didn't see it happen?
No.
So it happened during the night?
Yes.
Was he sleeping next to you during the night?
Yes.
What time did you get home from your cousin's?
Midnight.
Oh. I really don't recall the time.
Just a second. You understand where we're going?
No, I know what time he came in. He don't remember.
I don't recall the time.
When you came home, was the car messed up?
Yes, it was messed up.
It had already been messed up?
Yeah.
Not yet. Yes.
Yes.
And you got home, according to your wife, at midnight?
Yes.
So it was messed up sometime before midnight?
Yes.
And that was on July 5th?
Yes.
Now, when do you claim she assaulted you?
July 5th.
Where?
At his cousin's house.
At his cousin's house where he was?
Yes.
What's his cousin's name?
Dominique.
So he was at his cousin's house. Were you at his cousin's house?
Yes.
With him?
Yes.
Now, just to add a little more complexity to this situation. Domestic violence?
Yes.
How many years ago?
2014.
And he went to prison?
Yes.
For how long?
3 years.
So my question to you is, what were you doing back with him? You just told me that you were a couple until a few months ago.
Right.
If he went to prison for assaulting you, that must have been a very serious assault. What are you doing back with him?
I was deeply in love with him because I met him around the time I lost my mom. So I know it sounds crazy, but...
Well, not only did he go to prison for assaulting you, but he married somebody else.
Exactly.
In the interim, with whom he has 3 children, including a 5-month-old baby. You were madly in love with what?
Right.
You getting all this? So if I had to guess about this alleged assault that happened to you at Dominique's house happened earlier in the day than her car was vandalized. So why don't you tell me about that?
Okay, it happened around 3 o'clock in the morning.
On July 4th?
On July 5th. I ended up bumping into them at the mall July 4th, and he was texting me, asking me to come over. We was stopped talking at the time, but we ended up seeing each other at the mall, so he wanted me to come over.
You saw each other at the mall? So he was with her. Well, how did he manage to get you this message that he wanted you to come over?
Texting me while he with her.
Texted you to come over to Dominique's house?
Yes. I supposed to met him at the park earlier because him and his family went to the park earlier that day, but I was still with my family. How you at the park if we at the park?
Hey, don't speak to her.
Okay.
So he's with her, with his 3 children. They're at the mall.
The children went there.
Just the 2 of them?
Yes.
Okay.
And my sister and brother and mom was with me.
And he texted you to come over to Dominique's house later?
Yes.
And you went?
Yes.
Okay. Pick it up from there.
So they dropped me off there around like 12 o'clock in the morning, and me and him was drinking or whatever. Then we ended up going to the basement where they got a studio down there, and we was talking or whatever. And I was sitting on his lap facing him, and next thing I know, she came from behind and just hit me with the gun. So we get to fighting and tussling over the gun. Somehow her finger must have got jammed in the gun or something. And then he ended up breaking it up, taking me upstairs. So in the midst of him taking me upstairs, washing my head to get the blood or whatever, she was in the basement. She took my Social Security card, my cell phone, my teeth, my money, and stepped on my purse and broke the clutch. So I had to throw that away. And then she ended up leaving.
Could I have the police report? How old is Dominique?
32.
I also have pictures, too.
Well, you went to the police a day later, and you told the police that you were sleeping in the basement, and you were alone, and there were no witnesses.
I didn't say that.
That's what it says here.
Okay.
Why didn't you say he was there?
I didn't want him to get in trouble because we have a no contact. We don't even supposed to be around each other.
Now, what proof do you have that she vandalized your car? I'm dismissing your counterclaim.
Yeah,
listen, you want to continue to be stupid and hang around him? It's your issue.
All that was lies anyway, but...
Just a second. All I ask you is, do you have any proof that
yes,
she vandalized
Your Honor.
your car? Let me see it.
I have an audio play, and then I have a witness of her calling his phone.
Who? Who's your witness?
Arvell, my husband. Yes.
Give me something that I'm going to believe. Now, you have a confession on a machine?
Yes.
I'd like to hear it. What does that say?
Right.
Could you hear that? No.
She's saying she didn't her up to the 6. I went to the police station on it.
Like me.
Just a second. Could you hear it, Bird? Would you go over there and listen to it? I can't hear it.
You gotta keep quiet.
I hear a male voice.
That's not even...
That's her.
Listen, you want to continue having these convoluted relationships, you do that.
So you can't
I'm
hear
done with it.
Just listen to me very carefully. I'm not even going to bother to ask you whether you went to the basement because your husband was there with his old girlfriend who been put in prison for assaulting her. I'm not even going to ask you that question because, quite frankly, I don't care. If 3 adults who've made 3 children together and continue, despite the fact that he was involved with another woman, you have a child together with him who is 11 years old and one who's 7, which means they were older children when he was involved with her. She put him in prison. Your children were without a father. Then you made another baby with him. Then he went back to her. Doesn't that strike you as something's wrong with you? Your case is...
Excuse me, step out.
She keyed it and put sugar in it, and
I didn't do nothing to her car. I don't know who did it.
flattened the tires and stuff.
I think she did it herself
Then she's gonna leave me alone
because she's trying to get me in trouble where either I'm locked up or she could kill me.
because I can go forward.
She delusional. I don't know. I'm done with everything, so.
Just time to move forward.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Solis versus Hernandez. Step forward.
Michael Solis is suing fellow tow truck driver Camarino Hernandez for medical expenses, lost wages, and punitive damages after Camarino injured him on the job.
Mr. Solis, you and Mr. Hernandez are tow truck operators, and it is your claim that Mr. Hernandez is responsible for your injured arm.
That's correct.
That happened on what date?
That was on July 14th of this year.
Now, do you own your own tow truck?
I do not.
Do you own your own tow truck?
I do not.
Who do you work for?
We work for a company in Chicago called M&J Towing.
Do you work on salary and commission, or just commission for the number of jobs that you
We work
do?
on commission for the number of jobs we do.
No. Listen to me carefully.
Yes, ma'am.
You work for M&J Trucking.
Correct.
M&J Trucking sends you a paycheck.
We're paid cash for the number of jobs.
The cash.
The managers of the business.
We're going to get into the business, sir.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That's where I'm getting into.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
he pulled his vehicle in so close to mine, his boom actually catches my arm, and it sort of yanks it forward, as the doctors described, nearly ripping it off.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Michael Solis says, fellow tow truck driver Camarino Hernandez severely injured him at work.
M&J Trucking sends you a paycheck.
We're paid cash for the number of jobs we do.
Who pays you the cash?
The managers of the business.
We're going to get into the business, sir.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That's where I'm getting into the business.
Okay.
You pick up your trucks from where?
The tow lot, where they're kept at.
The address of the tow lot.
I'm not sure the exact address by number, but it's right in the vicinity of 49th Street and Halsted.
How many tow trucks does M&J have at that location?
Between them breaking down and whatnot, I'd say 5 and 10 running.
And how long have you been working for them?
Well, I was relatively new to the company, so about a month and a half.
And how long have you been working for M&J?
About 6, at least once a week.
Are you paid at the location?
Yes.
The name of the person who pays you?
I'm not sure if it's Freddie or Frederico. We call him Fred.
Now, how is it that Fred gives you money? What do you have to show to Fred in order for him to give you money?
We have to show him our tow receipts of the cars we towed.
And how do you generate those receipts?
We save them in our binders, and we drop them off to him.
So it's a business?
Yes.
And you work full-time?
Full-time.
Does M&J have workman's compensation insurance?
I'm honestly not sure of that. I would imagine they would, but I couldn't say that in certainty, to be honest.
Well, when you were injured on July 14th, did you report the injury to M&J?
I did.
To whom at M&J did you report the injury?
To that manager, Fred.
And it's clear that with one arm, it's very hard for you to tow cars.
That's right.
Did you not ask him about how you were supposed to work?
I did, and you know, he told me right away that, you know, because the company as a whole, we've known the guy Fred for quite some time, personally, outside of work. So he asked me right away not to make it like a big insurance fight and lawsuit and all this stuff, because they were going to step up, you know, and take care of me and make sure everything was covered. And by they, I mean both M&J and the defendant.
Right. So what?
Fred, and he told me they were going to help me. M&J.
And don't go to a lawyer.
Right. M&J actually said that they were going to make sure I am still able to keep an income. So what they did is, instead of the lawsuit and money and all that stuff, they actually gave me a vehicle from an accident that didn't go through as typical. So they gave me the title to the vehicle. And
is what you're telling me, M&J settled with you by giving you a car?
That's right.
Okay. So let's just get it easy.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So he's in his truck ready to go. Your brother's in the truck. You're not in the truck.
That's right. But
so you're not ready to go. You're outside your truck, okay? It's not going to go well for you, sir, because there's a scam here that I'm not quite figuring out.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Michael Solis says, fellow tow truck driver Camarino Hernandez severely injured him at work.
Now, instead of getting a lawyer and going after their insurance, let's not make a big deal about this whole thing. We're going to settle this whole matter by giving you a car.
Well, partial matter, because, again, the agreement at the beginning was that M&J would be responsible for a portion of this loss. And
it's never an understanding with the defendant when you go to M&J.
Well, that's what we all discussed.
Mr. Solis.
We actually all discussed that together.
Okay. All right, now you're going to tell me your story.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tell you that if I were you, I would get a lawyer and sue M&J. Unless you already signed release documents, did you?
No, ma'am.
Great. Now tell me your story.
So what happened is, on the night of July 14th, we were parked in a gas station. In the back of the gas station, the defendant and I were parked next to each other in our tow trucks, with me being on the right-hand side, him being on the left. This was about 3 o'clock in the morning, so it was the middle of the night. I'm standing between the two trucks, smoking a cigarette, kind of taking a little break. My brother was actually there working with me, where he was driving in the daytime, and it's my shift to drive at nighttime. So I jumped in the driver's seat and was getting ready to take off, but first I stepped out, had a cigarette.
Getting Ready to take off for where?
Well, getting ready to go to a dispatched accident.
But there was no dispatched accident.
Not yet, but we're trained to always be ready for a dispatch.
Yeah, so you went outside, you were smoking a cigarette, and?
And we both get dispatched, obviously, to an accident. And the way the dispatch works is the first person to get there, that's your accident, so
yeah,
we have to do that.
Yeah.
The defendant, being the reckless person that he is,
Don't tell me he was a reckless person. You've known him for a very long time.
I have.
The two of you know each other for a long time. You know Freddie for a long time. You get a call, and?
We get a dispatch, and I'm standing there. We looked at each other and said, we got to go. The defendant decided he was going to try to cut my vehicle off so that I can't get to the accident and he can get it.
Don't tell me. Listen to me. I don't want to hear what you think he decided to do.
Okay.
The defendant is where when you're having a cigarette?
He's in his truck.
So he's in his truck already?
That's right.
And who was with the defendant in his truck?
I couldn't see. I didn't look in his truck.
Did you have someone with you in your truck?
Yes, Your Honor. I had her with me.
So she was with you?
Yes.
Who is that?
That is my fiancée, Dominique.
Okay, so your fiancée was with you in the truck that night, and they were sitting in the truck, so they were ready to go.
Right.
You, on the other hand, were outside of your truck, and it takes you a couple of seconds to get into your truck.
That's right.
Right. So if the call came in at the same time, obviously he was going to get there first. Obviously. He's in his truck, ready to go. You're standing outside having a cigarette.
Right.
So he's in his truck, ready to go. Your brother's in the truck. You're not in the truck.
That's right. But
so you're not ready to go.
I was not. But again, like I said, he wasn't ready to go either.
No, listen to me. You can't tell me whether he was ready. I have to make that judgment. He's in his truck.
But he was sleeping.
He's in his truck. You're outside your truck, okay? It's not going to go well for you, sir, because there's a scam here that I'm not quite figuring out.
Judge, want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
It's not going to go well for you, sir, because there's a scam here that I'm not quite figuring out. But the only one who's going to lose is M&J, and maybe you. Now, let's finish. So he's in his truck. He takes off. You start to get into your truck. I would assume that that's what you're going to do, start to get into your truck.
Yes.
So what happened?
Well, as I tried to start to get in my truck, he took off, and when he did, he pulled his vehicle so close to mine that the boom on the back of the tow truck, the boom is the T part. I actually have a picture of one if you'd like to see it, but it's the T part on the back of a tow truck that lifts the car. He pulled his vehicle in so close to mine that while I'm standing there holding on to the top of my door with this hand, his boom actually catches my arm, and it sort of yanks it forward, as the doctors described, nearly ripping it off.
Okay, you want to tell me what happened that night?
Well, like you said, I was in the truck. I was ready to go.
Look at me.
We got a job dispatched. I was obviously going to make it there first. He didn't want to pretty much move out the way, so I just kind of took off, and I guess I accidentally hit him.
Well, then I think you should take it up with M&J. You're not going to come here and conspire here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Take it up with M&J. You both work for M&J. You were injured on the job. Their responsibility. Do you understand?
Excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Broken several spots, and for that reason I'm not able to go back to work.
I don't know. I think it just feels like it's more my fault.
Until all that heals up, and it's going to be a long time.
Because he shouldn't have been standing there. He should, you know, like, you see me, we're working.
He stopped, but you know, when I told him, hey, you broke my arm, dude, he just kind of sped off and left without that, so.
It was his bone was sticking out of his arm and everything.
He basically left me high and dry, and I had to figure it out.
I hope, you know, like, you can get over it.
I think it might be time to get a lawyer.
Is what you have court-ordered supervised visitation?
Supervised visitation, yes.
Once a week was too much for this dad.
I went to the house to pick up the child. He canceled while I'm already out front of the house about to walk up.
And a young girl misses her father again.
Why didn't you show up?
I had an emergency for work.
Unless you were in a hospital bleeding from every orifice, you make the appointment at 11 o'clock to see your daughter.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Child Visitation Monitor, Theron Robinson, for failing to show up and pay for a monitored visitation.
Order. All rise. It's case number 251 on the count in the matter Robinson versus Chandler.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
Mr. Robinson, you run a company that fills a void when non-custodial parents have set orders of visitation with their children, and for some reason they cannot see the children other than in a supervised situation, and they don't have a relative who is a potential supervisor of those visits. Your company provides supervision for those visits. Do you have any special training for that?
We do go through a training school that we do.
What training school?
It's the trade school that we go to.
Trade school?
Yes. We don't have an official, license or certificate.
Mr. Robinson, listen to me carefully. I want to know what expertise do the people who supervise visits have? Do they have to have a bachelor's degree?
No.
So if they don't have to have a bachelor's degree, they clearly don't have to have any degree in early childhood or psychology.
No.
Do you have a bachelor's degree?
No, not currently.
Do you have an associate's degree?
Yes.
From where?
El Camino College as a child development.
When did you receive it?
There
for 2 years.
Yes.
And what were you equipped to do with that license?
Monitor court-ordered visitations as a professional monitor besides an unprofessional monitor.
Okay. Does anyone work with you except you?
No.
And do you get referrals from the court?
Sometimes, yes, I do.
Did you get Mr. Chandler's referral through the court?
No.
How did Mr. Chandler come to you?
He called me up one day, and then...
He called you up from how? Do you advertise?
I do advertise through different platforms, Facebook, Yelp. I don't know how exactly he got my number.
How did you get his number?
I got it online.
And how often did you have visitation?
I had visitation once a week, and if I had a monitor, professional monitor...
I understand. All right, I'm getting it, Mr. Chandler. You had visitation one time a week. For how many hours?
From 11 to 2.
Who does your daughter live with?
With Kelly Zimmerman. She is the guardian.
She related to the child?
No.
Is she a foster parent?
She's not a foster parent, but my daughter's mother was adopted by her, and she actually has guardianship of our daughter as well.
You have a drug problem?
No, I don't.
Have an alcohol problem?
No.
Are you on a prescribed medication?
No, I don't.
Why do you need supervised visitation?
I had my license suspended, and due to that, I was not able to...
License suspended for what?
Tickets from a car I had sold, and I never had gotten it.
I'm not believing this. I was in the family court for a quarter of a century. You don't lose visitation with your child.
No, I didn't lose visitation. I'm just not able to go and pick her up physically because my license is no longer suspended.
No, there's a difference between supervised visitation, sir. Is what you have court-ordered supervised visitation? Is what you have supervised visitation?
Supervised visitation, yes. I had them originally as unsupervised, but then my license was suspended, and because of that, they had made it supervised again.
Not in a million years. Not in a million years. Unless your license was suspended for driving while intoxicated or having drugs in your system or in the car, your visitation wasn't changed to supervised visitation because you couldn't pick her up. Because if that's the case, then you can pick her up and leave the plaintiff's premises with her. You're not allowed to do that, right?
Yes.
So somebody has to be watching you. If somebody has to be watching you while you're having visitation with the child, then you have either a drug problem, an alcohol problem, or you've been found guilty of abuse or neglect. Those are the only reasons.
Okay.
What is the reason?
What? You want to say something?
No.
Good. Who are you?
I'm his mother.
We understand each other?
Yes, we do.
Perfect. What Mr. Robinson is suing you for, sir, is because you made an appointment from 11 to 2, 1 day a week, and you didn't show up. And he wants you to pay for those sessions.
Message him. I have right here the text messages.
I don't care. Who do you work for?
I work for a moving company.
You get a weekly salary, or they call you when they need you?
It's weekly, but as of lately, it's been very slow, so it's on call.
So you're on call. You do not work for anybody. Steady. They call you up.
Yes.
Okay. When you texted him that you couldn't make the visits, how much notice did you give him?
I give him, it was 10:30, but prior to that, he actually had messaged me.
Just a second. You texted him 10:30 that you couldn't meet.
Yeah, I was going to be an emergency. I was calling in to work.
I don't care what you emergency. Unless you were in a hospital bleeding from every orifice, you make the appointment at 11 o'clock to see your daughter.
Yes.
And you don't call him at 10:30 you had an emergency. There's no emergency. There's no emergency unless you were hospitalized.
If I couldn't go to work, I wouldn't be able to make,
That's too bad.
my number one priority.
That's too bad. Nobody calls you at 10:30 in the morning and says to you that you have to go move somebody's house from one place to another. Nobody calls you the last minute. Nobody. I move all the time. I know when I'm going to move. And it usually doesn't start at 10:30. You usually get rounded up to start that about 8 o'clock in the morning. So at 10:30 is not the time to call him. And how much was that session?
$115.
So far, that's $115. How many other sessions did you cancel or no-show?
Actually, it was opted by the judge order that I was able to have him be the monitor if I could afford it at the time. And if not, then I would be able to have her be the monitor, which I was originally having before for every week.
What kind of double talk is that? I asked you a question. You had retained his services, and his services were the child was going to be dropped off at his place,
yes,
and it's $115 a session. I asked you a question. I said, how many other no-shows were you, or did you cancel at the last minute?
Well, after he canceled the first one, he said that the other ones would be put on hold until I paid that one. So no, I didn't cancel any other one.
How many times was the child brought to your offices?
I don't have a physical office. I went personally to pick up the child from the guardian's house.
How many times?
2.
2. And did you, in fact, pick up the child twice?
Yes.
And how many times did Mr. Chandler exercise his visit?
Twice.
So you didn't pick up the child for any other visits?
No.
So what are you charging him for?
I went to the house to pick up the child for the 3rd visit. He canceled while I'm already out front of the house about to walk up.
On what date?
September 1st.
Okay. What happened on September 1st?
On September 1st is when I actually had an emergency and I needed to call in for the work.
Is that when you called him for
Yes.
10:30?
Yes. If he doesn't pay the $115, then it adds up in late fees, and then we cancel.
$115. That's what he didn't show up. Then you didn't go anymore, right?
No, I didn't go anymore.
Good.
But we.
Good. You didn't go anymore. That's $115. That's what he owes you.
Well, I have strict guidelines that he signed, agreed to, and protocols that I send, having visitations every week. Each one is scheduled unless you cancel, and each one is to be paid for.
Listen to me. He owes you $115. The last one you said he didn't go to. After that, you didn't even go to pick up the child. I'm not giving you any more money. Do you understand?
No, that's fine.
$115. That's what he owes you. You went there. You were prepared to go. He had no excuse. I told him if he wasn't in the hospital bleeding, he should have been there.
Correct.
When was the last time you saw your child?
I actually just saw her this last Thursday at the park.
With whom?
With Kelly.
So you had a meeting to meet them at the park?
Yes, we did.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How long did he stay?
2 hours.
And it was okay?
He always comes stuttery, he has a drug history, that's why they have it on.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $115. We're done.
Okay, fine.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I mean, I really think that I don't owe anything to him.
It was okay. She was fair. I liked what she did.
I believe that the woman
to another monitor.
I've been clean, and I've actually been taking drug tests and passing every single one of them.
Because he tried to get another monitor and he's going to start the whole process again and then try and not pay her.
Just move forward, keep moving forward, and doing what I'm doing. And
I'm solely for the child. It's not a good environment for the child.
Keep taking steps in the right direction to help maintain and get my daughter back.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Long versus Haskins. Step forward.
David Long is suing his former friend, Thomas Haskins, for airline tickets and lodging for a trip to Hawaii.
Mr. Long, it looks as if you wanted to celebrate your 40th birthday with some friends and you were taking a trip. How many friends did you go with?
It was 9 total that went on the trip.
Including yourself?
Yes.
And one of the 8 was the defendant?
Yes.
How long have you known the defendant?
20 years, 21 to be exact.
And how long have you known the other 7 people?
The co-host of the trip, I've known her for 20 years. 2 of the others I've known for 5. And then a couple of them I had met on the trip.
Who invited those?
The girl that was the co-host of the party invited her sister when a couple failed, and also
Tell me, what do you mean the co-host?
So it was me and a friend celebrating our 40th birthday.
Okay, so you planned the event?
Yes.
How many friends did you have?
5 total.
Including him?
Yes.
Did everyone else pay their way?
Yes, everyone, except one.
Okay. Everyone else paid for their own airline tickets.
Yes.
You laid out the money, but they paid you back. And how much was the defendant's airline ticket?
$754.95.
And did everyone pay for their own share of a hotel room?
Yes, it was a 5-bedroom, 4-bath home that Lisa found, and everyone paid Lisa, and I paid for myself and the defendant.
Okay, why did you pay for the defendant?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He gave me $150 and it posted to my Cash app. He said that he had sent $1,500 and that there was a glitch in the system. He doesn't know where the extra zero went.
Now I'm ready to listen to you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
David Long says his former friend, Thomas Haskins, owes for a trip to Hawaii. Thomas is countersuing for the return or value of damaged and stolen property.
Why did you pay for the defendant?
When we originally started talking about the trip, I knew, so I said, well, let me know by a certain date. And when we started talking about it, he said, okay, I'll put it in my budget. Well, we started discussing in May. And by August, we had found a home, and he was secure and said that he could definitely pay me within a week of the trip.
I never said that.
So,
Shh. I'll get to you.
So I had previously went to his 40th birthday, so I definitely knew that he was responsible.
Where was your 40th birthday taking place, sir?
In Maui, Hawaii.
And where did his 40th birthday take place?
It was in Curacao, in one of the ABC islands.
And how many of his friends went?
It was just me. He doesn't have that many friends, Your Honor.
Great. Did you pay? Shh.
I had some other friends come.
Did you pay for yourself?
Yes.
When he went with you to Curacao, did he pay his own airfare? That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
And did he pay for his part of the hotel accommodations?
Yes.
Okay, good. So there was no reason for you to expect that he was going to pay for yours. How old are you?
44.
So it was relatively recently that he celebrated your birthday with you.
Well, yeah, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Things change, though, Your Honor. Things happened in the 4 years.
Yeah, usually get better, not worse. And if you can't go, you can't go. How much was his share of the hotel?
$750, Your Honor. That was everyone's payment towards the house. And I don't think
You're the one begged me to come.
Are we talking to each other? If we're talking to each other, go inside, find a nice room, and chat. This is a courtroom. You talk to me, you don't talk to each other. Clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did he give you any money towards the trip?
He gave me a paltry payment of $150, Your Honor, which is nowhere close to
that was for the rental car.
Just a second. Listen, don't shout out again.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Right now, it's his burden to go forward, which means I have to take his information in an orderly way. He gave you $150 when?
He gave me $150 shortly before the trip. I have it here, Your Honor, and it posted to my Cash app.
Okay.
When I got to Hawaii, because we live in separate states, I asked him, are you still prepared to pay the full amount? I only received $150. He said that he had sent $1,500 and that there was a glitch in the system. He doesn't know where the extra zero went.
Okay. Now I'm ready to listen to you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Tell me what you said to him and what he said to you.
Well, he was badgering me, actually.
No, badgering is a conclusion. I want to know what he said.
Well, it's how I felt.
I don't care how you feel. Feelings is not my business. What did he say to you, and what did you say to him?
Judy. David Long says his former friend, Thomas Haskins, owes for a trip to Hawaii. Thomas is countersuing for the return or value of damaged and stolen property.
He gave you $150 when?
Shortly before the trip, and it posted to my Cash app.
Okay.
When I got to Hawaii, I asked him, are you still prepared to pay the full amount? I only received $150. He said that he had sent $1,500 and that there was a glitch in the system. He doesn't know where the extra zero went.
Okay. Now I'm ready to listen to you. You went on a vacation. Somebody else paid for the airfare, and somebody else paid for the room. Go.
He knew my situation.
Don't tell me what he knew, and don't tell me what you lost.
Okay. Well, I wasn't working, so how could I agree to pay anything when I don't have a job?
You don't ask me questions. You tell me what the conversation was.
I'm just saying he knew the situation. I didn't have a job, so how could I very well pay for a trip? He begged me to go on. I told him I could not afford it. He still begged and insisted, and then offered to pay. So,
okay, now I want you to tell me on what date he said, I'll pay for you. Give me the date he said, I'll pay for you.
Well, it was...
Just think.
It was probably around the end of July, beginning of August, somewhere. I never
just
thought...
a second.
Yeah.
End of July or the when you had that conversation with him?
We were at a Chinese food restaurant. He had come to visit me in Roanoke.
Tell me what you said to him and what he said to you.
Well, he was badgering me, actually.
No, badgering is a conclusion. I want to know
well,
what
it's
he
how
said.
I felt.
I don't care how you feel.
He kept
Listen
asking
to
me the same questions.
Feelings is not my business. Law is my business. What did he say to you, and what did you say to him?
He asked
at the Chinese restaurant.
He asked if I had gotten my tickets yet. I told him no.
Just had you gotten your tickets yet?
Right. I told him no.
Shh. Now stop 1 second. The trip was scheduled for what month?
September.
On what date did you get the airline tickets?
It was
July
31st.
And you got the airline tickets for how many people?
For him, after he asked me.
I just said for how many people?
One person.
And you got the tickets on?
Orbits, and I have
on
evidence
what date
here.
Was that? The 31st of?
July.
Keep going. Had you gotten your tickets yet? And?
I said no.
So it had to be in July, this conversation?
Right, okay. Yes. And he asked me, was I going to get my ticket? I said I couldn't afford it. He said he would get it. I didn't say anything. He just said he would get it.
Okay.
He just said if I could at least afford to pay for my food and anything I needed while I was there, then that would be fine. And if I would also like maybe, that I did agree to.
And?
And he went and purchased the ticket.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Keep going. Had you gotten your tickets yet? And?
I said no. And he asked me, was I going to get my ticket? I said I couldn't afford it. He said he would get it.
Okay.
He just said if I could pay for my food and anything I wanted while I was there, and if I would also like maybe look after the house, make sure things stay tidy.
And?
And he went and purchased the ticket.
So now you got your ticket. And?
And we went on the trip.
What about your hotel?
The hotel, that stuff was purchased way before then when I wasn't working. You know, when you plan a trip, it's usually about a year in advance.
You plan a trip. When you planned the trip, did you tell him that you were going?
They asked me if I would go. I said I would love to go, but my situation is that I'm not working.
You owe him the money. You owe him $1,354. You gave him $150 when? On what date?
September 12th.
But that wasn't for the trip.
September 12th, Your Honor.
Just a second.
That wasn't for the trip. That was for the rental car.
$1,354. Judgment for the plaintiff. Your counterclaim's dismissed. It's nonsense. We're done.
In a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm glad that finally I'm getting my money. I shouldn't have to pay for his paradise.
He begged me to go on the trip. He knew my situation. He knew I wasn't working.
I enjoyed the trip, but when I came home to no money, I was devastated.
I understand that it was his 40th birthday. He kind of made me feel like guilted me into going.
He had a great time. He had a really good time. He didn't have a lot of money during the trip.
I agreed, only to help around the house and just pay for my way while I'm there.
So he ate few meals, but overall he had a good time.
Just made me feel embarrassed about being there because I couldn't afford to be there even though he had begged me to come.
He said he was going to pay in full when the trip was over.
I never agreed to paying him back, so I don't feel the judgment is fair.
I couldn't believe it was $150 and he blamed it on the app.
Well, I'm wearing black today for a reason, because the friendship is dead to me.
Judge Judy came through and I am so thankful.
He literally scammed me.
A first-time house flipper takes a loss.
You didn't ask for any references.
I did not.
Well, that should have been the first thing that they taught you in your real estate course.
Now she wants to rebuild her bank account.
You gave the defendant
intention of bringing any cabinets. He never paid for any cabinets. He never ordered any cabinets.
You're a thief.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Noemi Piard is suing her former contractor, Daniel Urbina Gandaria, for work he never completed and for damage to her home.
Order. All rise. It's case number 272 on the calendar in the matter of Piard versus Urbina Gandaria.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Ms. Biard, what experience did you have in buying and selling houses?
Really no experience. This was my first time ever doing it.
Well, what did you do to prepare yourself for it? Because you spent some money to buy this house.
We did actually invest in an education for real estate, so I did have some knowledge.
Education? In real estate. What education?
It was real estate training, how to wholesale properties, how to fix and flip properties, what to look for in terms of what you're buying. And my mom had recently passed away, and so I received a very small inheritance that I was able to put in life.
Okay, but you prepared yourself for it, so you knew what you had to do.
Yes.
Great. And you purchased this house for how much money that you
I purchased it for $255.
And what did it need in order for you to flip it?
Well, it definitely needed some updating. The floors were really bad. The kitchen needed to be redone.
Okay, so let's deal with the kitchen, because that's what you hired him for.
Originally, I hired him for cabinets.
Well, cabinets is kitchen.
Yes. I'm sorry, yes.
What else had to be done with the kitchen other than cabinets?
Well, we were considering opening up a wall from the living area to the kitchen. There was a supporting beam there, so we had discussed maybe leaving that beam there or perhaps opening up the wall and then putting like a support beam across the ceiling.
How did you find the defendant?
I answered an ad on Craigslist from his cousin, Abel, who came out to the house and measured and told me about the cabinets and gave me a ballpark price. And he told me that...
No, don't tell me what he told you. His cousin? Not him. His cousin.
It was his cousin.
I'm not interested in what his cousin told you.
Well, the reason is because I'm getting to how I got to him.
You got to him through an ad on Craigslist. Did you
basically. We went to the cabinet store and we designed...
Did you ask him what his experience was and for references?
You know, I didn't ask for references. 20-plus years of experience.
Great. And you didn't ask for any references?
I did not.
Well, that should have been the first thing that they taught you in your real estate course.
Yep.
Second thing that you have to learn that I'm sure they taught you in your real estate course was you have to get certain approvals, planning approvals, if you're going to do remodeling of a house. Did you take care of that?
Well, we weren't planning to actually remove the supporting wall. It was...
Ms. Biard, let's not play with each other. Did you say to him...
So, no, we did not need permits at that point.
Did you need permits for anything that you were doing?
No.
Is the defendant going to tell me the same thing?
He's going to tell you that in order to take out the supporting wall, we would need a permit. But at that point, we hadn't decided what to do. He actually went and started working on the house without having fully explained what he was going to be doing. He took a check for the cabinets, and the very next day was in the house ripping open the ceiling, which I believe he was there doing because he knew that I could not press criminal charges against him because he never had any intention of bringing any cabinets. He never paid for any cabinets. He never ordered any cabinets. And when I went to the police, they said it would have been a criminal matter because it was theft.
Just a second. So what you're suggesting, let me understand what you're thinking, what your thinking process is. Your thinking process is that you went and you designed cabinets to a store. By the way, you don't have anything in front of you.
I don't.
And that would... In front of you is a credit from the store for the cabinets. You understand that?
I do understand. I don't have it.
Why?
Because I closed my account there and it's no longer an open account. I'm done with the cabinets.
They closed his account.
Just a second. Just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me understand what you think. You gave the defendant $3,000 for cabinets, and he didn't put in the cabinets. The defendant's defense is that you changed your mind and fired him, and he returned the cabinets, but they would only give him store credit for the cabinets. That's his defense.
Minus 20% restocking.
Show me!
Well, I can't.
Well, go get it. I'll wait.
Okay.
If you say you don't have it, I'll wait to get it. The store didn't go out of business.
No.
Well, where did you think you were coming today, sir? Where did you think you were coming?
I knew where I was coming, ma'am.
Then why didn't you say to the store, I need proof of a store credit? Because then I would give the credit to the plaintiff and I would say, go get your cabinets.
Well,
if you fired him and all he was able to do was get $2,800 for the cabinets or $2,700 for the cabinets in a credit. Here's the credit. Take the credit and go get your cabinets.
This happened back in January, February, and I closed the account like 2 months ago.
But then you're an idiot.
Well,
Well, then you're an idiot. From what store did you buy the cabinets?
J&K Cabinetry.
They're still in business.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure they have the credit. You want me to wait, or is it going to be a waste of my time?
I'm not going to get the credit. I have no way of getting the credit anymore.
Yes, sure you do. You know how many clerks we have back there who will get on the phone with the store and say, we need a copy of a credit that you issued in January or February of this year, not 10 years ago, not 50 years ago, this year. Companies keep records. Is it going to be a waste of my time?
Yes.
Because it's early today. Then you're a thief. Then you're a thief. What's the name of your company?
Better Kitchens and Baths.
Yeah, I wouldn't do business with you for anything because you took her money. You took her money. And you didn't buy the cabinets. That's what you just told me.
No, we did buy the cabinets, ma'am.
That's what you just told me. You just told me I would be wasting my time because my staff would not be able to call and get a copy of the store credit. You said to me it would be a waste of my time, which means either one of two things. Either you used those cabinets for somebody else or somewhere else or did your own kitchen, or you never bought them in the first place. And so they didn't give you a credit. Either way, you're a thief. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. We're done. Thank you.
Oh, but ma'am, there's other things.
I don't care.
But he did tons of damage. Can I show you the picture?
Your fault. You went to school. Get references.
I never would have had him do.
We're done. You want to show me? You want me to ask you? Show me the $3,000 check that you gave him.
Okay, I can show that to you. I can also tell you that
That's all I want. I just want to make sure that you actually gave him $3,000.
Of course I did, and I never would have had him do what he did.
We're done. Good. We're done. Give me the check, and we're done. One check. One check.
Where you going?
Thank you.
Oh, she said give it to me. I was giving it to her. Apologize.
Okay.
Oh, that's you. $3,000. January 23rd.
Cashed same day at my bank.
Cashed same day.
Which means he's a scam artist, which means he shouldn't get away with the other $2,000 that I had to spend. I realized that I should have done due diligence. I do realize that. But at the same time, he literally scammed me. He came into my house the very next day and started work that was never authorized.
Miss Beyond, you have $3,000. Say thank you and goodbye.
I spent another $2,500.
We're done.
Why is that excused? You may step out.
Well, I'm pretty upset with the decision, actually.
She knew what I was doing.
He stole $3,000.
She was just insultive and mean.
He had already cut a massive hole in the ceiling, so there was...
I don't go around doing free work.
Always go with a licensed contractor.
I'm not a bad contractor by any means.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ammer versus Deary Johnson. Step forward.
Brittany Ammer is suing her former friends, Marissa Deary and her boyfriend, Caleb Johnson, for damage to her bathroom and furniture.
Miss Ammer, you are a building manager.
Yes, ma'am.
Of an apartment complex?
Yes, ma'am.
How many apartments in the complex?
2 apartments, a 2-bedroom and a 1-bedroom.
Where do you live?
I live upstairs in the 2-bedroom apartment.
So it's actually a 2-family house, 2-family condo?
It's a commercial property, too. There is a beef jerky storefront and a lady that does hair as well.
Okay. And do you manage the commercial premises as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you get a reduced rent for that?
I wish.
What do you get for that?
Nothing. I mean, I just help him manage the building. I mean, he's family.
Yeah.
He takes good care of my family. We're good.
Okay, fine. Is there storage in the apartment?
Yes, ma'am.
Where?
The basement, and I also have storage, like I got closets I can use for storage.
When the defendants moved in, that was on what date?
July 10th.
Did you know them before they moved in?
Not Kayla, but I did know Marissa. We've met in the local bars around. Apartment came available, and being the building manager, I had to rent it as quick as possible. And she had said that she was living with her mom, and things were kind of getting a little squirrely. So I told her I had an apartment available. She could come look at it to see if she was interested.
Are they still there?
Yes, ma'am.
They have a lease?
We never exchanged a lease.
So they're month-to-month tenants?
Yes, ma'am.
What furniture did you lend to them, according to you?
I lent them an armoire and 2 lamps, 2 end tables, and a hutch.
Where had those things been?
Downstairs in the basement. I have a big basement, a lot of overflow furniture.
Okay.
The The armoire was actually in the hallway, though. It was too big to go down in the basement.
Did it look as if it should have been there?
It was there because I couldn't get anyone to take it up to my apartment. Too heavy, too bulky. So I just left it there until I could find somewhere to put it.
Well, then you were very happy that they put it into their apartment.
I was.
Okay, fine. And then you had a spat about something. In what month did you have a spat with them?
That would be October 1st.
What was that about? Quickly.
Quickly, I had a bathroom that needed to be renovated. They said that they were going to be late on their rent. I said, well, let's work something out. Let's do some work to the bathroom to pay your rent. $1,000 was the agreement. $500 for labor, $500 for materials. We started on the bathroom, ripped things apart, left them a big mess for 2 to 3 days.
Well, what made you...
Said that he had a small business, that he's a handyman. He does handyman services.
Handyman doesn't renovate a bathroom.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Ooh, that would be you throwing a rock at her car.
It wasn't a rock, ma'am. I had a bouncy ball in my hand.
I don't care what you had in your hand. What'd you do that for?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brittany Ammer says former friends Marissa Deary and boyfriend Caleb Johnson damaged her bathroom and furniture. The couple is countersuing for unpaid work and damage to their car.
Okay. Handyman renovating a bathroom requires pulling permits, doing a whole bunch of things.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, then you were trying to get it done for very little.
I was trying to help them out, too.
Well, and yourself.
Yes. Yeah, I need it remodeled.
You
for
need
sure.
a remodel, and it didn't work out. So that was what the spat was about.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you said, give me back my furniture.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you claimed that they put it in the hallway and some of it was damaged.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the value of old furniture?
The armoire was $1,100 purchased.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. If you went to sell it, you get $50. You couldn't even move it. What else?
The lamps.
What else?
$40 a piece. Not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about nothing, because we're really talking about nothing.
Because this piece, it wasn't about the money, it was sentimental. I acquired it from taking care of an elderly lady for 2 years. And I just felt as though me helping them out, they should have never damaged my property like they did.
Tell me what they did to the armoire.
I have pictures if you'd like to see them.
I would. Thank you. I can't tell what this whole thing looks like. Is it glass?
Yes, ma'am. The first picture that I gave you was one of it whole.
Okay, want to tell me how this got damaged?
Yes, ma'am. The piece was actually sitting in front of our bed, kind of as a footboard, and I would watch her younger son frequently. He would sit on the bed and he would throw items at the top of it. That's how the top got cracked. The burn holes are incense cones that were placed there and had burnt through and melted the piece by complete accident.
Okay. Are you going to have it fixed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you get an estimate on having it fixed?
No, ma'am.
Well, how am I supposed to guess having the cigarette burns fixed has to be refinished? Okay, that's your fault. $250. Now, you have a counterclaim. What's your counterclaim for?
The counterclaim is for the labor for the bathroom that we weren't allowed to finish. And then also I warning, and then she took off and there was damage left from her striking.
When did she hit your car?
It was Sunday, October 17th.
Did you report it to the police?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see the report. Did you hit her car on the 17th?
No, ma'am.
On what date did you have an incident with them that you were told that they were gone from the premises?
The same day, October 1st. Caleb had cussed me out and said some things, and I've dealt with his outbursts 2 or 3 times now.
Mm-hmm. Whose video was that?
Ours.
Does that show her hitting your car?
It shows her throwing a rock at the car.
I'd like to see it. Ooh. That would be you throwing a rock at her car.
It wasn't a rock, ma'am. I had a bouncy ball in my hand.
I don't care what you had in your hand. What'd you do that for?
Just out of anger.
What
frustration.
Anger?
I've dealt with a lot with these two.
Well, you...
They asked me what had happened. I told them I was honest, and...
I don't care whether you were honest or not. What kind of ridiculousness is that?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She did, in fact, provide me with pictures of where you put back up the drywall.
Yes, ma'am.
That doesn't look like a satisfactory job.
What I do is put grout up and then tile over it.
Why isn't it measured correctly?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brittany Ammer says former friends Marissa Deary and boyfriend Caleb Johnson damaged her bathroom and furniture. The couple is countersuing for unpaid work and damage to their car.
Okay. Was the car damaged?
From that, no. It's from when she hit it with her van.
Do you have a picture of it?
Yes. I also have the estimate, if you would like that.
Where were you when you observed this?
In my bedroom, which is our bedroom windows face the driveway.
Did the police call you about this incident?
No, ma'am.
This happened on the 17th. Is there an open complaint?
Yes.
Well, then I don't want to ask her about it anymore if there's an open complaint.
Well, I've gone to the police station, and they said that they were waiting for it to be approved. Contact her and left a message.
All I'm telling you is I can't ask her, and I'm not having anything to do with the damage to the car. I shouldn't have even asked her, because if the complaint is open, I should have realized it. If it was the 17th of October and there was a police report, we're not far into October.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody have pictures of what the bathroom looked like?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see it. What do you do for a living, sir?
I have a handyman service.
Handyman is not a contractor.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pull any permits to do this renovation?
All I was doing was pulling the drywall down and replacing it with tile.
Oh, this is a big mess. Did you give her a time frame?
No, ma'am. I tore down the drywall and then replaced it with green drywall. And the next day, I went up to get a key because we didn't have a key to our back door. She asked if I would be able to do it today. I said, when I get home from work. And then that's when it all happened. She went off and told me that I had to do it right now. And I told her I couldn't. Then she told me I could not proceed with it. And nothing else was done to her bathroom from that day.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. How many days' work did you do there?
3 days.
Okay, because this looks like a big mess. Do you have pictures of what the back up the drywall?
No, ma'am.
Did he put back up the drywall?
That's the drywall he put up. Where the screws, yeah. Where the screws are in the top, about 6 screws in the piece. Where he should have taken out that drywall and replaced it with a proper piece that actually fit. But instead, he placed little pieces of drywall on 6 screws. Horrible work.
Now I see what you're doing.
Horrible
Now
work.
I see. Okay. Would you hand this to Mr. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
She did, in fact, provide me with pictures of where you put back up the drywall.
Yes, ma'am.
That doesn't look like a satisfactory job.
Well, ma'am, this is drywall, and what I do is put grout up and then tile over it. So
Why
this
wasn't-
drywall would not be seen or anything like that if I was able
Why
to
isn't it measured
proceed.
correctly?
It was, ma'am. What she had was plaster up, and when I was taking it down, I took most of it down, and then the ceiling began to fall also.
Okay. You owe Miss Ammer $250 to fix the armoire that you broke. That's it. We're done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She's just out to get money, basically.
Just flagrant disrespect.
I'm just glad that it's over.
Destroying things.
Man, I just think she's crazy, to be honest. The reactions that we got from her,
I had a ping pong ball. It was not a rock.
it was a rock.
I'd be in jail right now.
Time to go.
This should be a wake-up message for everybody out there.
Who's watching your elderly parents or grandparents?
You looked around to see if someone from the agency could fill in for you.
Yes.
How did you find the plaintiff?
We were friends.
Then more troubling signs.
How many days did she work?
I know she was not there most of the time. There was money missing, food stamps missing.
I'm not convinced you worked.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Deanna Clark is suing her former friend, Lori Broyles, for unpaid health care services she provided for Lori's client while Lori was on a trip.
Order. All rise. It's case 220 on the calendar in the matter of Clark versus Broyles.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Miss Broyles, tell me who you work for.
Donna Scheffler.
Individually or through an agency?
Through an agency.
You had been taking care of this lady for a long time.
Yes.
And you wanted to go away for a
daughter.
You see your daughter. And you looked around to see if someone from the agency could fill in for you.
Yes.
This Mother's Day weekend. You couldn't find anybody through the agency.
Yes.
And you found the plaintiff.
Yes.
How did you find the plaintiff?
We were friends.
Do you have any particular training in taking care of the elderly?
Not
No.
medical
That's
training.
either yes or no. Either you went to nursing school,
No, I did not
you
go
went
to
to
any
school,
schooling.
Nothing. Do you know if she had any particular training in taking care of the elderly?
No, I know that she was trying to take the steps to become a caregiver like myself.
Good. So she hadn't done anything in order to fulfill the requirements to be a caregiver.
Yes.
But you asked her to fill in for you anyway.
Yes.
And she did. And she wants to be paid for that time that she filled in. So my question to you is, from when to when were you away?
I was away May 13th through May 23rd.
For 10 days?
Yes.
And was your arrangement with Miss Clark that you would pay her for the days that she worked?
If I got paid.
Nah, that sounds ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You mean she worked for 10 days?
She did not.
How many days did she work?
I'm not exactly sure, but I know she was not there most of the time. Well, the 2 times that he went to visit her, she was not there. There was some other guy there. There was money missing, food stamps missing, medicine
Listen to me. I don't
all over
know
the
that.
place.
I don't know that. All I know is you hired her with an arrangement to pay her.
Which I paid her $100 before I left.
Just a second. Well, $100 for 10 days translates into $10 a day.
Right. I was going to pay her more. I was going to give her my wages if I got paid, but she knew as well.
Don't tell me what she knew. Listen, Miss Broyles, I may look dumb, but it's just an illusion.
That's
if you
that's
got
the
paid,
arrangement
if
that
you
they
got
had with
paid,
me.
listen to me carefully. If you got paid, that would have been because you submitted a time card indicating that you were there for so many hours. That would be the only way that you could get paid. So you would have had to submit a time card to your agency and say, the job was covered for those 10 days, pay me. The agency would have paid you.
Which I did not.
Well, you don't look like a philanthropist to me. You don't look like somebody who would say, I'm going to take out 10 days' worth of wages from my pocket to pay you to take care of this old lady. You don't strike me as that kind of gal.
There was never that kind of arrangement. This program gives their caregivers 5 days paid vacation every 3 months. So they denied me. So I didn't get, and I did not try to collect those hours from my agency either, because I did not work those hours. I can't work those hours and then give her the money I get for it.
Listen, 5 days paid vacation amounts to how much money?
Roughly $400.
How much did she tell you that you were going to be paid?
$500, $200 before she left, and $300 when she got back.
So she was supposed to pay you $500?
Yes.
How much did she pay you?
Nothing.
Were you there covering the job every day?
Yes, I was. If I wasn't, there was somebody else there while I did do the job outside the house.
What kind of jobs outside the house?
Going to the store, getting ice for Donna.
Okay. Doing your own thing. And who was the guy that you left there?
His name was Mike.
His name is Mike what? Don't guess.
I can't think of his last name.
What do you mean you can't think of his last name? How did you find him? Who is he?
He was a friend of mine.
You mean you left an invalid old lady?
No.
In the care of a male whose last name you don't know?
No. Actually, he went to get the ice. There was a lady named Diana there that Lori had, I guess, I don't know how she got her in there, but she came and sat with Donna for a couple hours on that Monday. And
I'm talking about the male that was there when you weren't there. When he came there.
Actually, I'd never left.
Together?
No, he was there.
Mike? So he wasn't there at all? I mean, you have to get your story straight.
The thing is, I never
I don't care whether you've seen him or not.
Okay, but he never came over.
Where did I get Mike from?
I don't remember his last name.
You don't know?
I don't remember his last name. He was a friend of mine. I was overwhelmed, so I called him to help me out.
You were overwhelmed? Overwhelmed with what?
When I first got there Sunday evening on Mother's Day to watch Donna, she was covered in Jell-O. She was soaking wet from
her not being there all day.
Because I was working already. I asked you to get somebody else in there to cover that day.
I am not predisposed to help you. I'm just telling you that.
I don't remember.
I'm not predisposed to help you. I was predisposed to help you until about 30 seconds ago. I am no longer predisposed to help you. I believe that when people work, they should get paid.
Right.
I'm not convinced you worked.
She worked.
I'm not convinced how much you worked. And I'm not convinced that you had the best interests of this lady who was your charge in your heart. Do you understand? So I am not predisposed to help you. And since you can't prove to me that you were there every day for a certain number of days, because you can't. I know you can't. I don't know how much you were there. She says she didn't get paid. Forget her. This should be a wake-up message for everybody out there. Don't rely on strangers to take care of your elderly parents. What?
I don't know if I'm allowed.
Well, if you have something important to say, you're allowed. If you have nothing important to say, don't say anything.
I know that she was there, and Donna needs 24-hour care. It's very hard work to take care of her, and I know that Dee was there every day taking care of her. How do you know?
Just a second. That's very interesting. Stand up. Okay. Tell me your name.
Sydney.
Sydney, how do you know she was there every day?
Well, I live right over there, and me and her were actually enemies at that time, but, like, I had to, like...
Can you try to say a sentence for me without the word like in it?
Okay.
Try. And no basically. No basically, no like.
Okay.
Mother's Day. Who was there on Mother's Day all day? The answer is nobody, because she told me she wasn't there. She got there at night.
Yeah, she got there after work. And then she was there every day.
I don't... Sit down. It's not good to get old. It's not good to get old. That has somebody who actually cares about you, or at least overseeing that responsibility. I think that neither one of you had the best interests of this lady in your heart, even though you get paid for doing that. I'm not predisposed to helping you. Do you understand? I don't know who Mike is. And how dare you leave this lady who is clearly not able to take care with somebody whose name is Mike, whose last name you don't even know. Goodbye.
I don't remember it.
Goodbye. I'm finished with you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I would have been more than happy to give her something if she would have done her job. Don't trust your friends.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cobb versus Molden. Step forward.
Richard Cobb Jr. is suing his former family friend, Kenya Molden, for causing a car that was in his name to be repossessed.
Mr. Cobb, it is your claim that the defendant owes you the balance of a car that you purchased for her, put in your name, and she was to make payments on. She didn't make payments, the car was repossessed, and there was a shortfall on the loan, which was in your name, so you have to pay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Molden says that that was not the agreement. Let me try to understand, Ms. Molden, what the genesis of this case was. You had a great aunt.
Correct.
Have a great aunt. Is she still alive?
Yes.
And she's 100+ years old.
Correct.
And it is your claim that someone, a family member, moved her out of her home into a senior residence and then somehow manipulated the sale of her home with this person getting the proceeds.
Correct.
And your aunt lived where?
In Sunnyvale at a Sunrise living facility.
And you were traveling back and forth to try to get her back into her home.
Correct.
What were you doing to try to get her back into her home?
Going through a conservatorship process to bring the evidence of her being manipulated and tricked into being in a living facility by the hands of her great niece.
And how did you know this woman?
She's a member of my church, Your Honor.
How long had you known her?
4+ years.
And you, Mr. Cobb, somehow connected with Miss Molden. Tell me how that happened.
This lady, Pearl, we were very close friends. When she would visit the family, she would want to take public transportation. And since she's a member of my church, we became very close friends. On many occasions, I would take her to visit the family in Sacramento, 4th of July, Thanksgiving,
That's
and
how
Christmas.
you became acquainted?
No.
How did you become acquainted?
When we found out that her home was being sold, me and my family rushed down to the Bay Area to her home, and that's when Mr. Cobb contacted my grandmother and let her know that my great aunt had contacted him and told him where she was located.
At Sunrise?
Correct. And that's how me and him started our conversation and exchange of numbers.
Okay. So that's how you knew each other, and you had no transportation, so you worked for a car rental place where you got to buy a car in your name because you got a discount on the car, and she would make the monthly payments on the car.
Yes, ma'am.
In what month did that happen?
August 17, 2017.
And for how many months, Miss Molden, did you make payments on the car?
Approximately 6 months.
And then what happened?
And then he had contacted me and advised me that he had removed my name off of his insurance.
Did he tell you why?
He said it was expensive.
Okay. Did you remove her name from your insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me why.
Because she had some tickets and a DUI, and it made my insurance very, very expensive.
Did you get a DUI? Did you get a DUI?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
You parked his car out on the street.
The tow truck driver put it out on the street.
But you accepted the car and you worked on the car.
Yes.
And now you don't know where the car is.
No, they found the car.
Where is the car?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Richard Cobb Jr. says his former family friend, Kenya Molden, caused a car that was in his name to be repossessed.
Did you remove her name from your insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me why.
Because she had some tickets and a DUI, and it made my...
Did you get a DUI?
Years ago, yeah.
How many years ago?
About 10 years ago.
Is that the only DUI you ever got?
Mm-hmm.
And what about tickets on the car? Did you ever get tickets on the car? It's not an answer. Did you get tickets on a car? Parking tickets. Did you pay them? The answer is no.
One of them, yes.
So he was taking your name off the insurance. If you took her name off the insurance, what you had to do was take back the car. When did you take her name off the insurance?
May I correct you, Your Honor?
Yes.
When I started off up till January the 5th, I had Progressive, and I changed to USA, and they told me it was okay for her to drive it, and it would be better for her name not to be on it because my insurance was probably twice as much.
In whose name was the car?
My name, Richard Cobb Jr.
Why wasn't it in her name, too?
It was up until the point where the insurance escalated.
So it wasn't her name, too?
The insurance was, yes, ma'am.
No, I'm talking about the title to the car.
No, the title's always been in my name.
If it was supposed to be her car, why wasn't it in both your names?
It was only her car with the agreement that she'd make the payments.
No. You understand what I'm saying to you, sir? Why wasn't it in both your names?
I don't have an answer for that.
I don't either. Because ultimately, she stopped making payments on the car. Car got repossessed. That's what happened, right?
Yes, ma'am.
If the car was in her name, there would be some obligation that she had. You have a written contract with her?
No, ma'am. Your Honor.
Very easy. If you were getting a discount on the car because you were putting it in your name, there would have been no reason to preclude her name, if it was really her car, from being on the title as well, right? That wouldn't have affected the discount. So I'm not buying the whole story. Do you understand?
No, ma'am.
Well, I don't know. We'll let you replay the tape. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
All right, excuse me. Step out.
I think I helped this lady with this car in good faith. She agreed to make the payments on the car.
It was to help my aunt. It wasn't for me to benefit from it or for me to have the property at the end.
She was responsible for making the payments on the car.
It was for me to use while I was going through the process, and after it was over, he got his car and I moved on.
And I'm ashamed of the way that she did me with this car.
I think it was the best news I've had all day.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Mataya versus Perry. Step forward.
25-year-old Moilu Mataya is suing mechanic John Perry for the value of a car that went missing while in John's care.
Mr. Mataya, you bought a car that was not running, correct?
Not necessarily not running, but it was under repairs, and I just got it back.
When you bought this car, did you drive it to the defendant's shop or did you have it towed?
I had it towed.
So it wasn't drivable?
No, ma'am.
So when you...
No, yes, ma'am, yes.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So the car was stolen from in front of your premises?
I didn't know that it was stolen. I was under the impression it was impounded.
Well, it was impounded, but it was stolen first, and it was left on a highway because probably the radiator worked for just so long.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Moilu Mataya says auto mechanic John Perry owes for a car that went missing while in his care.
You took possession of the car. You are a mechanic in order to fix it.
Yes.
What prevented the car from running?
It ran, but it would overheat.
And what did it need in order not to overheat?
It needed a radiator, some hoses, it needed a timing belt, and a water pump.
Did you do any of that work on the car?
The radiator, that was all.
You fixed the radiator?
Yes.
So the car was drivable?
Yes, it would drive.
And you have a mechanic's place that has cars inside?
Yes, inside the shop.
But you parked his car out on the street?
The tow truck driver put it out on the street.
You mean the one that he hired?
Yes.
But you accepted the car and you worked on the car?
No, they found the car.
Where is the car?
From what I understand, it was impounded because of no license plates.
That's not true, Your Honor.
What happened to the car?
I have a voice recording if you want to hear it, but I'll just explain that Highway Patrol found it on the freeway, and they gave it to towing on June 1st, 2018.
Okay, so they found the car on the freeway?
Yes.
And you have a voice recording of that?
Yes.
I'd like to hear it.
Yes, sir. The vehicle was sold at auction. It was sold in auction? On what day? About 8/29. By, and you guys are towing, correct? I called the right number, right? Yep. Okay. You guys found it by Highway Patrol on June 1st? Yeah, Highway Patrol found it. Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure because I'm taking it all to court. I appreciate your help.
So the car was stolen from in front of your premises?
Obviously, I didn't know that it was stolen. I was under the impression it was impounded.
Well, it was impounded, but it was stolen first, and it was left on a highway because probably the radiator worked for just so long. How much did you pay for the car in February?
$1,200.
How much money did you give the defendant to fix it?
It was agreed upon that I'll give him $460 for parts, and then when he was done.
So, Mr. Pierre, this is your problem.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So, Mr. Pierre, this is your problem. When you accepted his car to be fixed and you actually started to work on his car, you had the responsibility to keep it safe. Clearly, you didn't keep it safe. I don't know the circumstances around how somebody got their hands on the car other than the plaintiff.
Right.
Do you have other people working for you?
Yes.
How many?
2.
I don't know who took his car and left it on a highway, but when you, as someone who's in business, accept somebody's shirt to be fixed, pants to be pressed, car to be fixed, and the shirt gets destroyed and the pants get shredded or the car gets stolen, it's your fault because you didn't safeguard the car. Left it on the street. Somebody took it. You left it open, you left it in a place where it was vulnerable. And if it could be driven, and it clearly could be driven, it should be right in your garage when you're working on it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,200. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Man, I appreciate her. I've been a big fan of the show.
I think it was fair. She said I had to keep it safe.
I'm just happy that I finally get a car. I'm tired of taking the bus.
Because it didn't have any license plates, and the city had been on me about putting cars in the shop with no registration and plates.
I just think he needs to brushing up on his information on Nevada car laws.
I'll accept cars with plates on them.
Just keep fighting, keep doing what's right.
A first-time landlord.
Did you try to lock him out?
Yes.
Without evicting him?
And her last tenant ever?
That's the girl stealing my necklace. This is him knocking over my security cameras so that he can steal more from me. Look at how violent he is.
The look of it is that you were stealing her property and damaging her property, sir.
Can I explain that video?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Lisa Delano is suing her former tenant, Michael Murphy, for property he either damaged or stole.
Order. All rise. It's case number 245 on the calendar in the matter of Delano versus Murphy.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Party's been sworn in. You may be seated.
then I'll see.
Mr. Delano, you have a townhouse, and you rented a room in that townhouse, according to the complaint that I read to the defendant.
Yes.
Turns out that you were not satisfied with him as a tenant and claim he owes you a whole lot of money. He owes you money, you say, for theft of property and damage to your property.
Yes.
Mr. Murphy says that you actually harassed him, and he has a counterclaim. When did you rent the room to him?
End of September of 2017.
Had you had that room rented before?
No.
This was your first time being a landlord?
Yes, I had just moved in.
Had you ever had a roommate in any other residence?
No.
Kind of hard to take on a roommate at a certain point in your life.
I just got divorced.
It's kind of hard to have a roommate before you're divorced. After you're divorced, taking on a strange roommate that you don't know is even harder.
Yes, it was.
Did Mr. Murphy sign a lease?
No, he would not. I bought the lease, left it, and he would not sign.
So he didn't sign it?
No.
So he was a month-to-month tenant. And how long did he stay?
The end of June, the very last day of June of 2018.
So far, is that correct, Mr. Murphy?
Pretty much.
And what was your rent, sir?
$500 a month.
And in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, did you pay rent?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that...
He stopped paying, I do believe, in March.
Did he pay by...
And it was $600 a month, including utilities.
Did you pay by check or cash?
I always paid by cash.
Where did you get the cash from?
The bank.
So you would make withdrawals from the bank?
Correct.
So at the beginning of each month, there would be a withdrawal for the $500?
Correct.
So, Mr. Murphy, you moved in September 2017.
Yeah, like the middle of September, yeah.
And you moved out on what date?
I believe it was like the 31st, according to my text messages, of May.
So we should have rent for October, November, December, January, February, March, April, at least 7 or 8 months.
Yes.
Okay. And you have that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'd like to take a look at it. So on April 17th, and this would be 2018, I don't see any withdrawal for $500. Isn't this
On
that?
April's, my buddy helped me out because I had truck problems. But I have all the other months.
February 27th, I have a $500 withdrawal. On the 18th of January, I have a $500 withdrawal. Well, then I have 2 withdrawals, one for $300 on the 29th of December and one on January 2nd for $200. And that was for 1 month, paying your rent at the middle of the month. You certainly weren't prepaying your rent on the 17th of the month for the next month.
I pulled the money out.
1, 2, 3 months, 4 months. This is October, 5 months. And here again we have on the 29th and the 1st, 2 different payments. So I have 6 months, 7. So we're missing 1 month.
Correct.
Okay, property damage. Miss Delano, tell me when you experienced property damage caused by Mr. Murphy.
Starting... I also have a video of him damaging my property as well. There's video of him doing all kinds of damage to my security cameras, which he's managed to break. Both of them, I have receipts for them, and he's knocked them down. And
okay, so that's the property damage that you're talking about?
No. All my doors. He kicked in the 2 front doors, which were just put in the day before. He damaged all the deadbolt locks on the doors. I have police reports here stating that he damaged the deadbolts, that they said he damaged them, and all the frames of all the doors.
Did you try to lock him out, Miss Delano?
He was caught stealing from me.
Just a second. Were you trying to lock him out?
He was caught, yes.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Without evicting him?
Yes. I was told by the police department.
You can't tell me what the police department told you.
Okay.
That's hearsay, and I don't believe it.
I understand.
Just so that you know, once you have a tenant through an eviction process, you can't just change the doors and the locks. You can't resort to self-help. And it's not something that the police would ever tell you. If you said, I have a tenant that I want out, who's paying their rent, they would never say to you, change the locks on them. They just wouldn't do it.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'll see your video.
This shows how much damage he was doing and the violence and he was bringing in. My business was in my house, and he was not allowed to bring in any people at all because
you have to evict him.
That's the girl stealing my necklace that he went in my bedroom and got, apparently, according to the paperwork here. That's the girl that was stealing my bank statements with him. That's her taking a bag full all my stuff, leather and hardware. That's my studio. And see how heavy the bag is? It's filled with a lot of heavy belts, buckles, and stuff like that. Bringing in people that are scary, that nobody's allowed in my house at all because of my business. This is him knocking over my security cameras so that he can steal more from me. Look at how violent he is. He's vicious. Look at him. Look, see? That's what he did every day to my cameras. He's finally busted them. And the guy that's walking out the door also has some of my stolen property that he took out of my office.
I haven't.
Belts. I'm wearing both my leather belts. He's probably wearing one of my belts right now. There goes my pool stick out the door.
That's not funny. That's not funny. I'm not amused.
It's not funny.
Well, then why did you appear to be enjoying it?
I'm not.
I mean, the look of it is that you were stealing her property and damaging her property, sir. That's what it looks like. To me, that's what it looks like. Actually, that's also what it looks like to everybody out there watching, including Officer Byrd. So why would you think that that's amusing?
I'm not laughing at all.
Good.
I'm actually...
You're responsible for all of that.
Can I explain that video? The first person in that video is not even me. And that last one is me when I'm moving out of the apartment.
Are you telling me that the person that I saw trying to break the security cameras wasn't?
Absolutely.
Where was your room?
3rd floor.
And who were those women that you had in the house with jewelry?
That's not me in that first video.
I'd like to take a look at it. Can I see it again?
Sure.
Well, it wasn't her, and you're the only 2 people that live there. So if she didn't bring somebody in, that means somebody...
Yeah, there were no girls, nobody was allowed in my house.
One more.
Looks like you to me.
How many it is? Okay. I'm not taking anything from her.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Oh, it was wonderful because everything he said was wrong.
She got evicted from that place because she harassed me so much and she called the police so much.
He was stealing from me. He was stealing all my men's leather belts that I custom made.
She threw all my stuff out on the front lawn when she illegally evicted me.
No more roommates. Don't ever have a roommate.
I left the state because she's harassed me so much.
That's all I gotta say. Cats.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Mackey versus Burmeister. Step forward.
Debbie Mackey is suing her neighbor, Jeremy Burmeister, for the cost of demolition and trespassing.
Miss Mackey, sometime last year, your aunt was living in.
Your Honor, I actually obtained power of attorney for her in 2010 starting. The power of attorney that I recently got was in January of 2018 to take care of her as well. So the matters had changed a little bit.
She was living in a house until January of 2018.
She was actually living in her own home until December 24th of 2017.
Fine. And despite the fact that you had power of attorney starting, as you indicated, in 2010, she remained on her own in this house.
Yes, she did.
Does your aunt have any other relatives other than you?
I believe she has some cousins in Arizona.
But other than you,
no,
you're it?
No, I am it.
And so that you would be her only heir to this property. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where is she living now?
She's living with me.
Does your aunt have anybody assisting her?
Myself.
Other than you?
My family.
So she lives with you unassisted?
I mean, she lives with us. I take care of her and my dad. My dad's in a wheelchair. He's 88, so I'm pretty much their full-time caretaker.
Who's with them now?
My daughter.
And where is this property that you took over in January?
The property is in Crockett, California, which is in the Bay Area.
Is it a single-family home?
It's actually a triplex. But she lived in the single-family home. It has a single-family residence above, and what used to be the old barber shop of the town, used as a basement. It was the previous dry cleaner many years ago.
And have you had the property valued?
No, I have not recently. I am...
Within the last 2 years?
Your Honor, I've been a real estate broker for 26 years, so I do know the value, but as...
What's the value of the property?
The value, based on the condition right now, is basically about $150,000.
And you have renovation plans?
I absolutely do.
Just a second. The answer is yes.
Yes.
You have renovation plans to do what with the property?
Right now, the permit that I have is to build the deck and to take care of some of the dry rot.
What is your plan? Listen,
Okay.
What is your plan for the property?
To rehab it.
And once the property is rehabbed, what will its value be?
The value will be probably about $500,000.
Okay. Defendant is your neighbor. How long have you been at your premises, and what do you own there?
5 years, Your Honor, and I own the building next door, the Emporium from 1922.
Do you live there as well?
I do, and it is my place of work. I'm an artist, and it is a live-work space.
There was some stuff that belonged to you, Mr. Burmeister. There was some property that storage stuff that you no longer had an immediate need for. And according to you, Miss Mackey's aunt gave you permission to store the stuff on her property.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, that doesn't exist anymore.
Thank you, Your
I
Honor.
want.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How am I supposed to say how much it's going to take to get rid of the junk?
I just want him to get it out of there.
He says it's not junk. Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Pay attention. You say it's not junk. You say
And it is on my property, Your Honor.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Debbie Mackey says her neighbor, Jeremy Burmeister, owes for the cost of demolition and trespassing onto her property.
Miss Mackey's aunt gave you permission to store the stuff on her property.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, that doesn't exist anymore.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm explaining that to you. That doesn't exist anymore.
The agreement?
Correct.
Your Honor, thank you.
The agreement doesn't exist anymore unless it's a written agreement. Is it in writing?
No, it is not.
It does not exist anymore. So get your junk off her property. If it's not already off her property, get it off.
It was gone within 2 weeks of my notice.
No, it's not, Your Honor.
What is left on the property?
Your Honor, have
Shush. Tell me what's left on the property.
junk. Flat out old recycled windows, junk, gas cans, wood, garbage.
May I take a look at it?
Absolutely.
I'd like to take a look at it. And that was as of when?
Your Honor, he had 6/2017 and has progressively gotten worse.
Just a second. It was there until when?
No. It's still there.
That's all I wanted to know. That's it.
That's incorrect, Your Honor.
These are pictures, and they're dated March 25th, 2018. I said, what's there today?
There's pictures in there. Would you like me to pull it out to be specific?
Well, I'd like you to give me what I asked for.
So March 25th is when he started increasing the items.
All I want to see is what's there now. Is this?
Yes.
And this is his stuff?
Yes.
And that's on your property?
Yes. He owns 3 feet of that side.
That's incorrect, Your Honor.
Just a second.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is what you're saying that all this property belongs to you?
Not quite, Your Honor. I'm a visual artist, and as such, I noticed the plethora of photographs that I had for evidence towards this case because there is a dispute.
I don't
to
care
the
about the
property
dispute.
line.
I want to see where your junk is. So
Well,
if you have a
that's-
picture to show me, I'm
Can I show
more
you
than
on
prepared.
the... It's easier if I made a little diagram for Your Honor.
No,
and can
I don't
point
want
out
to see a
everything.
diagram.
Yes, Your Honor.
What I want to see is a photograph of your
Here's
stuff.
a temporary wood rack that I created at the beginning of the alleyway. Here's a temporary fence that I made at the end of the alleyway.
In here, yours.
Yes, Your Honor. And it is not junk. Those are 1940s to 1920s steel casement windows, valued at probably $5,000 for all of them, Your Honor.
Is this the same photograph that you're showing me with all this junk in?
Yes.
Well, this shows that it's clear.
Probably because he cleared it up. That is not his property line. He only owns 3 feet from his building.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You say it's not junk.
I had all of those items stored for 3 years because of the work that I did to clean up Miss Mackey's failed attempt. Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Pay attention.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Debbie Mackey says her neighbor, Jeremy Burmeister, owes for the cost of demolition and trespassing onto her property.
What I want to know is this the same picture?
It's the same junk.
It's not the same picture because I don't see a window.
Your Honor, could I please get the model?
No.
Okay. May I
Am I
approach, Your
looking
Honor?
at the same area?
I'll verify. I can't tell from back there.
Good. Would you show those 2 pictures to the defendant, please? Just the 2. Is that a picture of the same area? Shh. It's of the same area.
Yes.
Okay. And this picture was taken when?
If that's my picture, it was taken yesterday.
Got it.
Or, excuse me, Your Honor, Sunday. I'm sorry. We were on the road yesterday.
Did you get an estimate to remove this junk?
No, I have not.
Well, how am I supposed to say how much it's going to take to get rid of the junk?
Well, with the weight there, it's going to be...
No. Listen to me. We don't guess.
I just want him to get it out of there.
He says it's not junk. Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Pay attention. You say it's not junk. You say
And it is on my property, Your Honor.
You say it's not junk.
That is correct.
It's valuable.
To me and to other antiques collectors and people
Very
restoring
good.
antique buildings,
You have
yes, Your
3
Honor.
days to get it out of there. Otherwise, she is going to call a dumpster and get it out for you, and I am going to give her the money that she spends to get it out. Do you understand?
I do.
Do you? Good. Because what I'm telling you is you have no agreement to keep your stuff there.
That's a separate amount of stuff.
I want to tell you something. It's not separate to me.
Your Honor, I had all of those items and more stored in Mary Lou's office space, which was the former barber shop, for 3 years because of the work that I did to clean up Miss Mackey's failed attempt. Yes, Your Honor.
Get it out in 3 days, or she's going to...
It's on my property.
Get it
is
up
on
3 days. If it's touching an inch on her property, you have to get it out in 3 days. Otherwise, she's going to call a dumpster, get rid of it, and her bill is going to come back. And I'm going to say, now you're going to pay the bill. It's easy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I'm not making any more of this case than it is. What it is you had an agreement with an old lady to use her house as a storage shed. Now she's no longer able to care for herself. So somebody else comes in who's going to make a nifty profit because she's going to be the sole heir of this property at some point when her aunt is no longer with us. You have to get your stuff out. Be a good neighbor. Get it out.
I have been, Your Honor, and it is not on her property. My basement
listen
comes
to me.
out.
That's my ruling. Get it off her property
Yes,
in
Your
3
Honor.
days. Otherwise, she's going to remove it, and you're going to pay for that dumpster because she's going to come back here. We're done.
Your Honor,
goodbye.
Your Honor.
We're done. We're
Your
done.
Honor.
Get it out.
Will you give me a court order so if it's not out in 3 days, I can have the sheriffs come stand by?
Parties are excused. May step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Judge Judy, as always, is very intelligent and can test a lie detector right away.
I'm the one that turned on her power, her electric, her television.
Regardless of whether he had an agreement, it's not in writing, and anything in real estate that's a leased space must be in writing.
And her phone when Miss Mackey was absent from the building over the last 3 years.
If it's longer than a year, then it has to be in writing, and we have nothing in writing.
I did not make her roof leak. I did not do any of the things that she's saying, and this is unfortunate.
I don't even know where he's getting that he damaged the roof because we replaced the roof with building permits.
I hope that God gives me the strength to move forward with this.
I mean, he's just not willing to work with anybody. He's just very spiteful.
Are you always comfortable with your little children around the Rottweilers?
The man next door was no match.
Where was he bitten? In what part of his body?
The face.
Was he attacked by an animal?
When was the prior bite of this dog?
Prior bite?
Yes.
That was a known danger?
I wasn't aware of prior bite.
You're telling me that this is something that the sheriff made up? I wouldn't call the sheriff a liar if I were you, Todd.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Michael Beeson is suing his neighbors, Todd Barth and his girlfriend, Erin Lemke, for medical bills and pain and suffering due to a dog bite.
Order. All rise. This case number 197 on the calendar, the matter of Beeson versus Barth Lemke.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Mr. Beeson, how long have you and the defendants been neighbors?
A little over 2 years.
How long have you lived in your house?
38 years.
So you bought the house 2 years ago?
Yep.
Yup is not an answer. Yes is an answer.
Yes.
Who lives in the house?
We do.
Just the two of you?
Yep. Yes.
With our children.
I have 50-50 custody of my kids, so they're there half the time.
How old are they?
6, 7, and 11.
Prior to the defendants moving in, Mr. Beeson, how many neighbors did you have that occupied their home?
Approximately 5.
Did you ever have occasion to sue any of the other neighbors?
Absolutely not.
That's a no.
No.
Did you ever have a case with any one of the neighbors?
No.
What kind of dogs do you have?
Rottweilers.
How many Rottweilers do you have?
2. 1 now. The male Rottweiler got adopted.
The male Rottweiler was how old?
7, 8, I think.
How long had you had the male?
They were actually her dogs before I met her, so.
I owned him for 8 years.
You must have farmed out the one, found another home for the one, because you felt the male was aggressive.
No.
Then explain why, after 8 years, you got rid of one of the dogs.
Because Mr. Beeson came over 2 days after the dog bite and told me that if I did not get rid of my dog, he would sue us. So I took what was better for my family and got rid of the dog because I didn't want to have to go through a lawsuit with him.
Who bought the house?
I did.
And when you say you had 50-50 custody of your children, the two of you have been together for how long?
3 years. We lived in the house 2 years, and together 3.
Are you always comfortable with your little children around the Rottweilers?
Yes.
Great. Either of them bite anybody before?
No.
So Mr. Beeson was the first person that they bit? And he was bitten by the male?
Yeah. Yes.
Where was he bitten by the male? In what part of his body?
The face.
Were you at home when that happened?
Yes.
What date was it? Time?
October 24th.
Don't look at her if you don't know in the backyard.
Yes.
Were you in the backyard?
No.
Were you in the backyard?
Yes.
So you were in the backyard when this incident happened?
Yes.
Just listen to me. Very careful, because I'm going to see all the reports. Were you in the backyard with the dogs when this happened?
When the dog bite occurred?
Yes. So you witnessed it?
Correct.
I'm ready.
For the story, okay.
I'm ready. October 24th, 2017. You're in your backyard with your 2 dogs.
Todd and I it started where Todd and I were in the garage, working in the garage. I heard my dogs start barking.
Just a second. You and your boyfriend are in the garage.
Correct.
And the dogs are in the backyard, fenced in.
Yes.
Alone.
Yes.
You heard them start to bark.
Correct.
And you left the garage.
Correct. And walked around the side of the garage to the backyard to see what the dogs were barking at.
Go ahead.
And as I was walking back there, Mr. Beeson was opening his gate, which opens into our fence.
So he was opening his gate?
Yes.
On his property?
Correct.
Go ahead.
And the gate that he has on his property, he has butted up to our fence on our property. So when he was opening the gate up to our fence, he stumbled and leaned over the fence to catch his step where my dogs were there barking at him prior to him starting opening the gate.
And that's what, sir? Were any of these bills covered by insurance?
Yes. The bottom amount is what I paid.
Amount due, the $1,038.
Correct. And the other one, I believe, was $3,000.
I'm not talking about for the back surgery.
Okay.
Let's not talk about back surgery.
Correct.
Let's talk about the visit that you had as a result of the dog bite.
Okay.
Because that's not a physician, correct?
Correct.
Right. And without a physician, I'm not connecting your back surgery with a dog bite. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I had an MRI done on the 30th, 6 days after, because
Sir, listen to me carefully.
Okay.
Without a physician to testify, I am not going to correlate your back surgery with a dog bite. Do you understand?
Understood.
Perfect. Now, Mr. Beeson, this incident happened, according to you, on the 24th of October.
Correct.
The date of service of the 2 things that you have dog-related are the 23rd of October that you've just given me.
Related. And the second one's 10/19 of 17, and the other one is 10.
Listen to me, sir.
Yes.
You can't go for a visit to the doctor before you're bitten on the face. So anything that happened before the 24th of October was not dog-related. Do you want to take a pen and circle what you claim are dog-related expenses?
This is 10/23 of 17.
It can't be 10/23. The incident didn't happen until the 24th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Beeson, there's no question that you were bitten. The defendant says you were bitten by by her dog. I just want your expenses, and you had to have gone to an emergency room or something as a result of being bitten on the face by a Rottweiler.
Correct.
That's what I want to see.
8/24/17 is when the incident happened. These other charges, one was 10/19, which is 2 months after, and the other one is 2 months after.
I'm not entertaining that, sir.
Okay, but they aren't before, Your Honor.
Well, did you tell me that this happened on August 24th or October 24th?
August 24th.
Is that correct? Yes. August 24th. Oh, fine. Now I want to see the emergency room visit on or about the 24th of August. Nothing else.
Yes, Your Honor.
Nothing in October. No surgery in October, unless, of course,
I have the ER, and then I have the incident report from the police.
So far, I'm going to see the bill, but Bird doesn't like to walk too much, so you can give him the incident report. He'll give it to me later.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we actually...
Go back to the... Did you have a bill for this ER visit?
And we actually brought him to the hospital.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just a second. Just tell me, how much was that ER visit and how much did you pay for that ER visit?
Okay, Your Honor, my total amount that I paid out of pocket was $75.
Okay. That's all. That's all I want to know. You spoke to the police?
Yes.
When was the prior bite of this dog?
Prior bite?
Yes.
I wasn't aware of a prior bite.
Yes, you were. Your name is Todd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just put your hand down. I wouldn't call the sheriff a liar if I were you, Todd. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. And the sheriff made a report contemporaneously to speaking with you.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Are you telling me that the sheriff was lying when he wrote in this report? He was making up the fact that you told him that his dog had bit someone before, but it was never reported. You're telling me that this is something that the sheriff made up?
No.
Okay.
No.
Now, okie dokie. So, and you wouldn't tell him that if it was a lie, would you?
No.
Because that wouldn't have been a good thing if you told him that my dog bit before.
No.
All right. So now I would like you to tell me when the dog bit before.
He came up and said that the dog had bitten him before, but I didn't know when. Because there was no police report for that one.
Mr. Beeson came over to us.
Todd stated that his dog had bitten someone before, but it was never reported.
Mr. Beeson came up to us and said that his dog and our dog were fighting over the fence, and he put his hands in the middle and got bit. We don't know if it was his dog or our dog, and no one's seen it. His dogs and our dogs fight constantly.
Yeah, going by that. Okay. I believe that was said when we were sitting in the hospital room while I was waiting for him, because I brought him up there.
And I don't care where it was said. I'm just telling you what the sheriff wrote in his report. Okay. Do you have photographs of the bite?
Yes, I do,
I'd
Your
like
Honor.
to see it, please.
Thank you.
You have homeowners insurance?
Yes.
Why didn't you go through his homeowners insurance?
Your Honor, I did.
And what happened?
When they got homeowners insurance through Badger Mutual out of Wisconsin, one of the things they have to do when they apply for homeowners insurance is they have to tell the insurance company if they have any dogs, how many, and what breed. They informed Badger Mutual that they had Rottweiler/Pit Bull. Rottweiler and Pit Bull are among the three most...
Just a second.
Yes.
Would you just tell me?
Okay.
So they informed the insurance company that they had them.
And insurance was denied. They're blacklisted. Those dogs are blacklisted, so there's no insurance.
So they don't have homeowners insurance?
Not on the dogs, correct. And they knew that. And I have evidence from... I'm sorry.
You don't need any more evidence, sir.
Thank you.
You don't look like bad people, so I'm not going to yell at you. Maybe.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There's a reason why insurance companies won't insure people for their dogs. Only certain breeds. Rottweilers are on the list. You know that. Yet you choose to have a dog that cannot be insured.
And later today...
Do you know why she reversed the $1,400?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever try to find out?
She said that she paid the money and she didn't pull the money back.
Well, she's just giving me a whole different story.
That's correct. Isn't it so?
Of course.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Michael Beeson says a Rottweiler owned by his neighbor Todd Barth and girlfriend Erin Lemke bit him on the face. The defendants are countersuing for the value of a fence and a false restraining order.
Now, no one has, to my knowledge, successfully sued insurance companies who refuse to insure people who have certain breeds of dogs. I may be wrong about that. That's because it's as if you live in a flood zone and you live in a place that has hurricanes. And I live in Florida. You can get flood insurance in Florida. You can get hurricane flood insurance in Florida. But they make it so prohibitive, so you go like this. You keep your fingers crossed. Many people do. Now, they do that because people should be aware of the fact that if you live in a place that's susceptible to tornadoes, to floods, to flooding, you sort of assume the risk if you buy beachfront property that you may be washed out to sea. Yeah. Earth is getting warmer, seas are getting bigger. Do you understand? There's a reason why insurance companies won't insure people for their dogs. Only certain breeds. Not every dog. They don't have Chihuahuas on the list. Shih Tzus aren't on the list. Poodles aren't on, correct? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh, isn't an answer.
Yes.
But you have Rottweilers. Yet you choose to have a dog that cannot be insured in your home because a company, big companies, have said, we have had so much difficulty with this particular breed, we will not insure it. Just as we have had so much difficulty in houses in Florida or in the Bahamas that we're not going to insure those houses against certain catastrophes. Do you understand? They're entitled to do that. So I, as a homeowner, would say to myself, now I don't have insurance for any incident involving my dog. You did know that, correct?
Yes.
Is that correct? Did you know that you didn't have homeowners insurance? Did you have to check what kind of dogs you had?
I didn't know that you had to.
He bought the house prior to me moving in.
Your insurance company was contacted by the plaintiff. There is no question in my mind about that, sir.
Yep.
Not a yup,
Yes.
that's a yes.
Yes.
And your insurance company said, sorry, we told them that the house was insured against for floods, for termites, for glass, for break-in, but not for anything that had to do with their dogs. What are you shaking your head for? You
agree.
remember that?
Yes, I agree.
Right, which means that you assume the risk of your dogs, not your insurance company. Counterclaim. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She is the brightest Shineland star of justice.
He provoked our dogs.
The defendants were uninsured and trying to make excuses.
He's hounding me for money day in, day out.
Someday, maybe regaining our neighborly friendship.
He got paid, so hopefully he leaves us alone now.
He agreed to it, so I hope it happens.
I hope he just leaves us alone.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Absher versus Morris. Step forward.
Kristen Absher is suing Stephanie Morris for money owed regarding the purchase of a Bengal cat.
Miss Asher, you breed Bengal cats.
Yes, ma'am.
They're beautiful.
Thank you.
I bought one for one of my grandchildren 10 years ago. She got very big.
Yes.
Beautiful. And you like them. You purchased a Bengal cat from Miss Absher. You liked it so much you wanted to get another one and you wanted to breed them.
Yes, ma'am.
When you buy a cat, I assume when you buy a cat, when you buy a purebred dog, if you're buying it as a pet, you pay one price. If you're buying it as a breeding animal, you pay a different price. You do know that.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She paid for the cat in full through PayPal, and then she picked the cat up and to take out $1,400.
That's correct.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Kristen Absher is suing Stephanie Morris for money owed regarding the purchase of a Bengal cat.
Now, so the first cat that you bought as a pet.
Right.
And you paid how much for that cat?
$13.
That was a male or a female?
A male.
So you wanted a female.
Right.
Which meant, for those of you who don't know that out there, I believe this is the drill, that if you purchase it as a pet, you don't get the CFA papers, Cat Fanciers Association papers, unless the pet is neutered. Isn't that the way you usually sell them?
I sell them neutered before they leave.
So the male was neutered?
Yes, ma'am.
And the female, she said she wanted to use it for breeding purposes?
Correct.
So that you did not have the female neutered, and the cost of the female was?
It was $2,000.
$2,000. Mm-hmm. And you paid her $2,000?
Yes.
And then, for some reason, you reversed $1,400 of that.
Right. Because?
Because why?
Because we had an agreement that when I decided...
Look at me.
Because we had the agreement whenever I had decided to breed the cats, that I could get the cat for $6 she got. It was no deadline on the cat.
Just a second. Did you have that agreement with her?
No, ma'am.
Do you know why she reversed the $1,400?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever try to find out?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened?
She said that she paid the money and she didn't pull the money back. I sent her documentation showing that it was pulled back, and she said that that wasn't her.
Well, she's just giving me a whole different story.
That's correct.
That's not so.
Of course it's so.
No, me and her had a conversation.
Just a second. Well, the question is either you did pull it back.
I did pull the money back, and she agreed to it.
You pulled the money back, and what you're telling me is she agreed to it.
Yes.
When did you give her the money? On what date?
December the 17th is whenever I had purchased the cat.
And when did you pull the $1,400 back?
I believe it was January or February, one of those two.
On what day was it?
There were several different transactions where each payment she paid through PayPal was pulled back, so it was several different dates between January and February.
But she had given you a check.
No, ma'am.
What did she give you?
She made payments online through PayPal.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So when she took possession in December, and then I received emails from PayPal stating the charges were being disputed and the payments were being pulled back.
After she took, so
Yes,
now
ma'am.
I understand. So she paid for the cat in full.
That's correct.
Let me just get it. She paid for the cat in full through PayPal, and then she picked the cat up on December 17th, and subsequent to that, she disputed the charges and started to take out the $1,400.
Correct.
So she had paid for it before she picked up the cat.
That's correct.
Now, let me tell you the story that you told me here. The story that you told me here is that the male cat got out and got killed.
Afterwards, the first one, yes.
When?
It was in the beginning of January, but the reason why, she never gave me a deadline to when I could give her a litter of the cat. So that's the reason.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,400. Thank you very much. We're done.
Excuse you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
The day that he was supposed to pay me the money, he texted me telling me that he has gonorrhea and that I gave it to him.
You tested negative?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on in your mind, Mr. Brown.
Judge Judy.
Me and her agreed that I would...
The first cat was sold as a pet and was neutered before he left my home.
Got ran over.
It's very heartbreaking.
I still want to be a breeder, so I mean, I'm still going to buy a cat.
It is very unfortunate.
I assume he asked to borrow this drone.
He wanted to fly it.
A son's wings get clipped.
All of a sudden, he throws it right at it, hits the drone.
And the drone is destroyed.
It could have been anybody's Frisbee, not just mine.
When a flying saucer brings down an aircraft.
After the drone had crashed, I giggled, I laughed. The blame was placed on me after that. Knucklehead over here.
The knucklehead brought out the drone.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Gayla Biekcia is suing her son's former friend, Anthony Keller, for destroying her drone while playing disc golf.
Order. All rise. It's case number 234 on the calendar in the matter of Biekcia versus Keller.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat.
Miss Biekcia, I assume this is your son.
Yes.
And this is his friend. This is your son.
24.
And how old is his friend?
26.
26, Your Honor.
And they were playing a game outside. You were not outside. You were in the house. Your son came inside, and I assume he asked to borrow this drone.
Yes.
That you had purchased and paid how much for?
$999.99.
$1,000. When had you purchased it?
December of 2016.
And on what date did he borrow it?
Well, it was the family drone. It was a Christmas present to my whole family from me. So it was his as well. My husband and my drone, he asked to use it. Ultimately, we oversee the drone.
Does he live with you?
Yes.
When he came inside, I want to know what he said to you.
He said, can I take the drone out to film our putting? He wanted to fly it.
Now, did you see how many buddies he had outside?
He had a group of kids, of guys. Many? 6, maybe.
And how long had they been there?
They had just gotten there.
What time?
It was 10 in the morning.
Did you see them when they arrived? Did they come in to say hello to you, or did they just go outside?
They stayed outside because they were getting ready to go to a disc golf game.
A what game?
So they play in a disc golf league, and they were going to
what
disc
is
golf
that?
course.
I don't know what that is.
My son would be better to explain the whole
Have
disc
you
golf
ever
league.
seen it played?
Yes.
Well, then you explain it to me.
It's like ball golf, but they use a disc, and they have different short shots in my yard.
So you're throwing that thing in the air?
Yes.
That's what they were practicing?
Yep, they were practicing their putting.
I don't care what they were practicing. You throw it in the air. I don't care what you throw them in the air.
Yes.
And after that, you don't know what happened until your son brought the broken drone inside.
I was inside, but
you
I was...
did?
Yes, I saw it happen.
You saw it happen?
Yes.
Interesting, that doesn't say that in here. Maybe I'm wrong.
I was inside.
Maybe I'm wrong. Your complaint doesn't say that you saw it happen. Your complaint says Casey came inside, picked up the drone, he came inside and apologized profusely, telling me what had happened. And then you go on to say that Anthony took responsibility for what happened. Nowhere in here did you say you saw it happen. You said your son told you what happened when he brought in the broken drone.
I was watching them throw from the window.
Oh, well, that's interesting. That I would have put in the complaint.
You're right, Your Honor.
Of course I'm right. Now you can sit down.
Okay.
Let me hear.
So we were all getting ready to go play disc golf. All my friends came over. We were all putting, short putts, 30 feet max, really. I had a drone, so I'm like, hey, let me...
No, you went inside. You
went
got
inside,
the drone.
Got the drone.
What were you going to use the drone for?
I was going to film us putting into the basket. I was hovering about 15 feet in the air above the ground. All my friends, everyone loved it. They were throwing...
Don't tell me what they loved.
They
were... calls for the operation of their minds together. They were all throwing the disc 30 feet, and the drone was 15 feet in the air.
Yes, and they were throwing their discs at, we have a basket, so it looks like this metal thing with chains hanging. And from 20 feet, it's very easy to throw it level.
Don't tell me what it's easy, just tell me what happened.
So all my friends are throwing the discs in the basket. I'm watching from my remote on the monitor, and I'm aiming right at Anthony, and I see him look up at the drone like he's getting ready, like he's aiming right at it. And I'm like, he's not gonna throw it at it. All of a sudden, he just throws it right at it with a disc very similar to this, hits the drone.
And the drone is destroyed. Now I'll hear you.
All right, so first of all, Your Honor, Gayla was actually, oh, sorry.
Just tell me what happened. Then you can give me all your editorializing.
Okay, so.
He's outside. The drone is about 15 feet off the ground.
Correct.
Which is about 3 times as tall as I am.
Okay, yeah.
So that's not too high. Go ahead.
So we were all putting, but him having the drone was unbeknownst to me. I didn't know he was flying a drone outside. I was there putting the whole time. There's about 10, 11 of us there. A bunch of us putting. There was about him over, it had flown over, and he was standing in front of his house, which is very far from the basket. He was about 50 feet away. You can control it anywhere. So I was over, I'm putting, I'm doing my thing, you know, kind of in my zone, and all of a sudden this thing just comes right in front of it, right by the basket. I wouldn't say it was 15 feet, Your Honor, but it was very close to that basket. And there was discs flying everywhere. Who's to say that was mine? There was about 4 people putting, throwing discs at that basket. It could have been anybody's Frisbee, not just mine.
Okay. Did your friend discuss with you that the drone was broken?
Yes, we had, yep.
Right after it broke?
Correct.
And what did he say to you, and what did you say to him?
I think he...
And to think.
Yep.
Think.
After the drone had crashed, I giggled, I laughed because I thought they're durable, it was no big deal. Then we found out it was broken, and since it was me, the one that was kind of snickering about it, I think that's what makes him
Don't tell me what you think. I don't care what you think.
So
you
blame was
started
placed
to laugh.
on me. Yes, the blame was placed on me after that.
Was this young man with you?
This is my friend Timmy. He was present there.
Did you ever tell the plaintiff's son that you would pay for the drone?
I told him I'd give him some money just because they were on my case about it, and I just kind of was telling them what they wanted to hear.
I want to know what he said to you and what you said to him.
I just told him that I was gonna, through text messages, said that I would give him some money.
How much did you say you would give him?
I told him that I gave them money. All I did was just text them that just to keep him off my case.
I would like to see what the texts say.
Yeah.
We have a text right here.
I'd like to see
I would like to put on record, Tim was not at my house when this happened.
He was there.
Listen, you're partially responsible for what happened to the drone. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Did your mother discuss with you that you're partially responsible for what happened to the drone?
No.
Well, I'm telling you, you're partially responsible for what happened to the drone. If you're flying a drone low and people are flying Frisbees in the air, that sounds not too smart. You're taking a risk.
It wasn't.
You're taking a risk. You chose to take that risk.
I wasn't flying it around. I had it hovering right in one spot. It was one spot for a good 2 minutes. Everyone knew it was there. The thing's loud. You can see it. You can hear it from a distance.
What I'm telling you is, if people are throwing objects into the air to get from one place to 30 feet away, it would seem to me if you had a valuable piece of property. I've seen drones in the air, they're up 100 feet, not 15 feet, 100 feet. But you brought yours out to take low shots. I'm telling you, you're partially responsible.
I also have a picture of the basket that we were all throwing at.
Good. Well, there was an indication, time, that you would work another job, that you took some responsibility. I'm telling you, I think that he is partially responsible for bringing out the machine and using it in the circumstance where it could get hit. But if I would have to apportion responsibility, I would apportion 75% to you and 25% to him. How much is a new drone?
About $1,000.
Well, this one you bought 2 years ago, almost 3, right?
Yes.
By the way, did it take any film that you had?
I was not recording at the time.
You were not recording. What were you doing?
I was getting ready to find the perfect angle to start recording because I just brought it out, and before we really started recording.
You just told me it was hovering in the same spot for at least 2 minutes.
It was, and I was just watching, so I was so infatuated by just how cool this view is from all my friends throwing their discs in. And then Knucklehead over here.
Don't call him the knucklehead. The knucklehead brought out the drone.
But he,
the knucklehead brought out the drone. Now, it is not my sense that the defendant, who was a friend of yours and on your league, did anything consciously with... Put your hand down. If I believed your statement, then I would let you talk. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great.
On the video, he was looking right at the drone.
Just a second. I don't know that. I don't see a video.
Okay.
So I don't know what he seen it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $750. We're finished. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Defendant, the plaintiff, I'm sorry, was very upset about it.
It was him. He broke it.
Almost in tears, so I just felt like...
He told me he'll take full responsibility.
I needed to do something to make him feel better, and...
He said he would pay for the whole drone.
You know, help everybody out in that situation.
I hope we can move past it and...
Maybe after some time, we can get past it and move on.
Rip it up on the disc golf course.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Yowell versus Walsh. Step forward.
25-year-old Thomas Yowell is suing neighbor Nancy Walsh for vet bills and travel costs after her cat attacked his Australian Shepherd puppy.
Mr. Yowell, it is your claim that the defendant's cat attacked your dog.
Yes.
You want to be made whole with regard to the vet bills that you incurred. And the defendant seems to have 2 defenses. One, that it's not her cat, it was a different black and white cat. And the second defense is that even if it was the same cat, it's a feral cat and really not hers. Am I reading that right?
Sort of.
Well, what sort of did I get wrong?
My first offense definitely is that it's not my cat, and I have a witness to that effect. I also have pictures of 4 cats that I...
Okay, so the
second defense I have is that I have proof that it wasn't my cat, and that Max is not a vicious cat that goes around attacking animals in our neighborhood.
Well, let us say for the moment, because I have to define your defense better.
Okay.
If your defense is it wasn't my cat, I'm prepared to hear that. I'm not prepared to listen to the fact, since you weren't there, that if it was in fact your cat, my cat has a nice personality, it doesn't bite people, it doesn't bite dogs. That's not important. If the attack took place and if it was in fact your cat, then you're responsible.
Absolutely.
Of course. Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Have you ever had any problems with neighbors?
No, because I pick up, and I know exactly who this neighbor is.
Who's had a problem with your cat?
No, she really has a problem with me.
You don't in her yard.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Thomas Yowell says neighbor Nancy Walsh owes for a cat attack.
I'm not prepared to listen to the fact, since you weren't there, that my cat has a nice personality, it doesn't bite people, it doesn't bite dogs. That's not important. If the attack took place, absolutely, of course. Okay, so when did this happen, Mr. Yowell?
It happened the evening of April 23rd of this year. I was walking my dog around our neighborhood.
And you live in the same neighborhood?
Yes, Your Honor. And as I rounded the home stretch of the nightly walk, we observed a black and white cat off to the side. About 10 feet after we passed the cat, I noticed out of the corner of my eye something running up behind us and pounced on my dog, Maisie. They kind of had a little tussle on the ground, and I ended up having to, kind of kick it away, move it away with my foot, and then continued on the walk home. And once we got home, realized that Maisie, actually have some pictures here of the damage to her left eye. It looked like the cat had kind of clipped the eye with one of her nails. At that point, we brought her to the emergency vet room immediately, just due to the concern of the blood filling in her eye. While we were at the vet, I posted on Nextdoor, the community messaging board, with a description of the...
May I see it? Could you describe the cat to me?
That was a black and white cat, possibly a red collar or tags. That's how I figured it belonged to someone in the neighborhood because of the tags.
And it was red?
Possibly either the tags or the collar, yes, Your Honor.
You posted this the same day with the description of the cat?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, fine. Let me read what you wrote. How many other neighbors in your community have raised issues with you about your cat?
None. I will tell you this. Max is known in the neighborhood. They call him the mayor. The children love him. He sits on their patio furniture.
Let me tell you this. I'm just telling you, and I don't know if this is accurate, Miss Walsh, but the neighbor of yours who told the plaintiff who you were in a text said, the cat is named Max, and he belongs to Nancy Walsh. I have had my own issues with her and her cat. The cat is allowed to roam free all day, every day. I'm just telling you that that's how the plaintiff got to you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What color is Max's collar?
Blue.
And the tag hanging from the collar?
Yellow?
Yeah.
Yellow?
Now sit down.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Thomas Yowell says neighbor Nancy Walsh owes for a cat attack.
I'm just telling you that that's how the plaintiff got to you, from issues with not only your cat, but you also have 2 dogs?
Yes. I walk every day. They never run free.
Have you ever had any problems with neighbors about where your dogs walk?
No, because I pick up, and I know exactly who this neighbor is. And let me tell you what the instance is about.
Well, just a second. So now you know that there is a neighbor, at least one, who's had a problem with your cat and your 2 dogs.
She really has a problem with me, not with the cat and the 2 dogs.
You don't in her yard.
Excuse me? No, I don't in her yard, nor do my animals. But I will tell you, the instance started with Max because that neighbor started feeding Max. So Max didn't come home for like 2 weeks. So I went and printed up a thing and put it around his collar. Please do not feed Max. He won't come home. So anyway, she stopped feeding Max. Max came home. She complained about something. I put a post up about her on the mailbox. But her problem is not with my animals. It is with Max. Because I have other witnesses and other neighbors who...
Don't just a second. Is this a witness?
This is my witness, absolutely.
Okay, good. First, tell me your name.
My name's Cindy Vanover.
What are you a witness? Do you know anything about this incident that occurred on April 23rd?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay. So
I want you to tell me what you know about the incident of April 23rd of this year in the evening.
So I was in my home I had seen Max on my front lawn, and I have dogs of my own in the backyard. And so I heard a commotion. So I came outside, and Max was still on my front yard, and I walked over to the corner, and it maybe 100 yards away, maybe, I could see a couple of people, and it looked, you know, there was some kind of dog fight, cat fight, dog fight. And so then I went back inside. I didn't walk over there to see who it was or what was involved, but Max was in my yard.
So you know Max?
Yes. Shh. Yes, I know Max.
What color is Max's collar?
Blue.
And the tag hanging from the collar?
Yellow?
Yeah.
Yellow?
Now sit down.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now I'd like to see give the pictures of Max to the officer.
Only of Max.
Only of Max. Now show me the pictures of the other cats. Is that the only picture you have? You have a phone?
No, I have lots of pictures. It's hard for me to find them,
Just
though,
a second.
'cause I'm not...
Just a second. Who was this a picture of?
I don't know.
Where did you get the picture?
A stock photo.
A what?
A stock photo where you go online and you get free pictures, you download them.
Can I see your vet bills, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I also have the rules and regulations that the HOA set of the neighborhood. And
You don't have to show me the rules and regulations of the neighborhood. Now, when you started this conversation with me, Miss Walsh, what you said was there are 3 or 4 other cats in the neighborhood that look exactly like Max. I have pictures of them. Are those the pictures that you just handed me?
No, they are not.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $491. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm thrilled that she's got the facts right and was able to...
The cat was not...
...cause the injuries to my dog.
Max is basically known in the neighborhood. There are no leash laws in the state of Austin.
She admitted to it, and I'd have to say, if you don't want to be responsible for something, definitely do not put it in writing.
No witnesses. He had nothing that was notarized or assured.
The neighbor, initially let me know that it was her, and then she actually also responded to the post.
He heard this from a neighbor who doesn't like me.
Saying that it's my cat Max, and, apologies.
That he stays 2 blocks from me and I stay 2 blocks from him.
But, I hope that we can at least, still maybe wave as we get the mail.
She was going to put on Facebook the fact that you're a deadbeat.
I told her, go ahead and do it.
A threat over a loan leads to a lie.
The day that he was supposed to pay me the money, he texted me telling me that he found out he has gonorrhea and that I gave it to him. So I freaked out. I was crying. I was like, oh no, what am I supposed to do?
And of course you tested negative.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on in your mind, Mr. Brown.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Michelle Boatwright is suing her ex-lover, Jonelle Brown, for threats of defamation.
Order. All rise. It's case number 164 on the calendar in the matter of Boatwright versus Brown.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
All right, Mr. Brown, I'm going to start with you, sir. There is no question that you took some money from Miss Boatwright. How much money did you take from her?
About $360. $360.91, the price for the key.
$361?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many times did you meet Miss Boatwright?
Overall, or just?
Overall, how many times did you meet with her?
Maybe about three or 4 times.
How many times did you meet?
Around that, yeah.
And you met on Facebook?
Yes.
You reached out to him?
I did.
When was that?
It was about a little over a year ago.
And in what month did you give him this $361?
Oh, the exact date was August 2nd of 2018. And I didn't actually give it to him. I paid directly to Mercedes.
You mean for something for his car?
Yeah, it was for a key fob that didn't work any longer.
And he asked you for it?
No, not exactly. Can I explain?
Okay. Did he ask you for the money?
Well, I offered to lend it to him, and he agreed to pay me in 10 to 14 days.
Is that true? No, look at me.
Oh.
Is that true that you had trouble with your car that wouldn't start because of the key fob? And either you agreed to pay her or you didn't agree to pay her.
We had several conversations about it. It wasn't just one conversation about it.
Well, let's talk about the initial conversation. In the initial conversation, when she offered you this money,
Yes.
did you tell her that you would pay her back?
In the initial conversation, yes. But
Yes.
we had conversations before she gave me the money.
Well, that's the initial conversation.
Yes.
The initial conversation, you said you would pay her back.
Yes.
And
I have text messages.
He admits it, which is a good thing for him. What changed?
Between me.
Between you saying, if you pay this to Mercedes, I'll pay you back in a couple of weeks or whenever. Why didn't you pay her?
Well, it was like a really tight situation at that time.
What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean tight.
I
You mean
had
tight financial for you?
Yeah, tight, just tight financially, tight the situation that was going on. I had just moved and I had surgery in the same week, and my car broke down.
So that's okay. All of those things are stressors on you.
Yeah.
That doesn't change the legal obligation to pay her back the $361.
Well, I told her after the initial conversation that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that.
And get the money.
It was before she gave me the money.
It was before she gave you the money. So before she gave you the money, you said, you know what? I said I could pay you back, but I don't think I can. I have too much going on.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Somewhere along the lines, yeah.
Is that right?
No. Even after giving him the money, he agreed that he was going to pay it back.
And you have text messages to prove that. So you want to change your story?
Oh, I have the text messages where I said to her.
I'd like to see the text message in and around August of this year where he says he's going to pay you back.
So I'm assuming that the conversations we had in person and over the phone doesn't count.
There was no such conversation.
I'm not answering your question, sir.
Here we go.
Shucks.
I mean, if I was known I was getting sued, I probably would have kept a lot of these conversations.
Okay, so that's $361 that you owe her. Now, she has an additional claim, sir, that's a little more distressing to me. And that's an additional claim for medical expenses. After she asked you back for this money, did you make a threat to her?
No, I didn't make a threat to her.
Did he?
She actually threatened me, actually.
Well.
So what I had said on Facebook was, you need to pay me my money. And then he proceeded to text me back with a whole lot of nonsense and saying, you know, you go ahead and embarrass yourself and your kids. I'll do it for you. Well, it wouldn't be embarrassing to me that you owe me money and you're not paying me.
Right.
So I believe he was referring to him telling me that I gave him gonorrhea, which I have my test results. I did not.
Just a second. When did he tell you
So the
that?
15th, the day that he was supposed to pay me the money, we were supposed to meet up that night. That morning, he texted me telling me that he found out he has gonorrhea and that I gave it to him. So I freaked out. I was crying. I was like, oh no, what am I supposed to do? I went to get my test the next day.
And of course, you tested negative,
Absolutely.
which you have there.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Brown, that's what I'm talking about. That's a nasty that I'm talking about. So first, I'm going to ask you, what made you believe that you were infected with an STD? That's not a laugh.
No, it's not a laugh. She's making it seem like it's a lot of things.
No. I'm asking you direct questions.
Yeah.
What made you think, now after you got into this discussion about money and that she was going to put on Facebook the fact that you owed her money, which is a place where you met, in a group chat?
No, I actually commented on, he said something about being 6'4", and so I was like, oh, 6'4".
I don't even know how that works, that you could going to put on Facebook the fact that she had loaned you money and you reneged on paying her back. What made you think that you had a sexually transmitted disease is my first question. What made you think that? Had you been diagnosed, or was this just something you threw out there?
It was something I threw out there.
All right, well, that's a big problem, sir.
Well, we had conversations prior to that.
Conversation about what?
Well, it was several conversations.
I want to hear conversations about, listen, you meet someone on Facebook, you get together, you have intimate relations with them. I would like to know what kind of conversations you have about transmitting STDs to each other.
Well, I knew at that point, well, I knew before that point that she was going to get kind of cycled. And then that was...
No, look at me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Look at me. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's going on in your mind, Mr. Brown. If what you are saying to me, sir, is that you got this money from her, it was a loan. She's owed the money. She demanded the money from you. You said, you blew her off. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you the next day. Whatever. I'll put it on your card. I'll put it on your card app. I can't get to the bank today. Whatever other excuses you gave her, that you're a deadbeat, that I loaned you money and you didn't pay me back. And if what you're telling me is your response to her to prevent her from putting out the breached loan agreement on Facebook, you threw out there, well, you gave me an STD. Having no basis for that statement, you didn't have an STD, you had never been diagnosed with an STD. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is that what you did? If you just say yes, don't try to make a whole bunch of excuses and whittle your way. I want to understand something. On your best day, you're not as smart as I am on my worst.
But that's not exactly what happened, though.
So let's start out with, were you ever diagnosed during this period with an STD?
No.
So you had no basis to believe that you had an STD?
No.
And when you told her you were going to put on Facebook the fact that she had therefore given you an STD, that was a lie.
I didn't say I was going to put it on Facebook.
What did you say?
She text messaged me with all this long threat about what she was going to do.
Do you have a threat by him that he is going to broadcast the fact?
No.
That
what ended up happening was when she threatened me with all of this, whatever she threatened me with, to put it on Facebook.
She said she was going to legitimately put on Facebook the fact that you're a dick.
I told her, go ahead and do it. But I didn't say...
He said, I'll post it.
I'll post it myself. That's no problem. I have no problem doing
the very
that.
last sentence.
Yeah,
of
I don't get embarrassed by stuff like that.
He texted me afterwards.
Well, she realized that when it wasn't going to embarrass me, that's why she didn't post it. She thought I was going to feel some kind of way or
just be quiet.
be all hurt about it.
You may get over with girlfriends with that kind of gibberish. You don't get over it with me.
Which she already had posted on Facebook.
Just be quiet.
Also.
You said to her, I didn't go to some clinic because I felt something. I see in capital specialists. Did you write that? People who go through my body with a microscope to make sure I'm good. So I suggest you find a different doctor or use a different kit. That's you. That's you.
When you say it like that, it sounds crazy.
When you say it like that, it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
That's what you wrote.
I mean, it's kind of like out of context a little bit.
It's not out of context. It's what you wrote to her. You said you had this disease. She went to the doctor. She had incurred medical bills, all because you were messing around with her head. And then she said, my medical test is clean. You wrote, oh, well, yeah, I go to a specialist. I go to people who go through my body with a microscope. That's not out of context. That's in context bills.
It was $89.
You're suing him for $1,250. The remainder is for emotional distress. You got it. He's an idiot. I would have given you more. What a fool you are. $1,250. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I don't think there was anything confusing about it. I lent you money. You were supposed to pay me back. You didn't.
Nah, because she was acting a little psycho before that.
Well, yeah, he stopped responding to me because I'm crazy.
The text message was to kind of just hoping that she'd just leave me alone at that point because she was acting a little before then.
I mean, I was freaked out. Who wants to think that they have an STD?
Yeah, I shouldn't even took the money. I should have left it be, and then, you know, we wouldn't be here right now.
I'm just glad I'm getting my money back.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Caston versus Sagami Naga, step forward.
Chelsea Caston is suing her former roommate, Michelle Sagarmi Naga, for the cost of a mattress that was damaged by Michelle's dog.
Miss Caston, how long were you and the defendant roommates?
Since May of 2018.
Where are you living now?
I'm currently at my boyfriend's.
What's his name?
Is Chris.
Chris what?
Chris.
Are you asking me? Is that a question?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
As you can tell from the photos, that he likes to have accidents.
I'm asking you.
Oh, yeah.
No attitude. The only attitude here is mine.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Chelsea Caston says former roommate Michelle Sigaminaga owes for a mattress that was soiled by her dog. Michelle has a countersuit for property damaged by Chelsea's dog.
Now, where are you living now?
I'm currently at my boyfriend's.
What's his name?
It is Chris.
Chris what?
Chris.
Are you asking me? Is that a question?
No.
What kind of work does he do?
He owns a tattoo shop.
On what date did you move into his apartment?
I believe it would
May
be...
1st.
No, not into his apartment. And his apartment was about 2 weeks ago. I don't know the exact date.
On what date did you move out of the apartment that you shared with the defendant?
That's what I'm saying. 2 weeks ago, I moved into my boyfriend's out of the apartment that we shared. I still currently pay rent there.
Where?
At our apartment.
Where is that? In what city?
Excuse me?
In what city?
Los Angeles.
Good. So you still live with her?
On a lease, technically, yes, but my belongings aren't in the apartment any longer.
And you said she moved out May 1st.
Misunderstood.
Okay. Now, your claim is that her dog ruined your mattress. She has some ridiculous counterclaim that your dog destroyed some of her stuff. Did you both have dogs when you moved in?
Yes.
And on what date do you claim that the defendant's dog ruined your mattress?
August 19th, I would say. I had left town August 17th.
And you came back on the 19th?
On the 20th.
And you found your mattress messed?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you sleep on the 21st?
On the couch.
And on the 22nd?
On my bed. I had rented a steam cleaner.
And on the 23rd?
Back on the couch.
On the 24th?
I believe at my boyfriend's.
25th?
At my boyfriend's.
26th?
My boyfriend's.
I mean, I could go through the dates up until now, so it's really been longer than 2 weeks that you've been at your boyfriend's.
Okay.
When did you move all of your stuff out?
This was after she threw out her mattress.
When did she move all of her stuff out?
Oh, 27th, I believe.
When is the lease up?
May 1st, 2019.
Are you still living in the apartment?
Yes, I am.
You have a long time left to go on the lease.
Yes.
What are you going to do about it?
Pay the rent.
Now, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Sheltie. I have a photo right here of him. He comes from a line of show dogs.
Just a second, he's very nice. Beautiful.
I have a French Bulldog.
How old?
He's 2 years old.
Does he sleep on the bed with you?
Yes.
Does he get up on the bed himself?
I usually pick him up and put him on the bed.
Does he get off the bed himself?
Yes.
When you left, and you say you left on the 17th.
Yes.
Did you leave directly from your home?
From our apartment, yes.
Where did you go?
To Joshua Tree.
And describe the mattress when you came home.
It was completely disheveled. My comforter had been moved off to the side, and it was soiled with feces.
Can I see it? And you threw it away?
I had rented a steam cleaner, and nothing was working. I drenched it in Febreze, and I went to Petco and got some kind of cleaner that's for this type of mess, but it had seeped into the mattress.
You couldn't get it out?
Exactly.
Okay, ball's in your court.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you going to remain with him?
I believe so, unless if we can come to a peaceful agreement.
Is what you're telling me going back to the apartment that you shared together has to do with her buying you a new mattress?
Real cases.
Caston says former roommate Michelle Sigaminaga owes for a mattress that was soiled by her dog. Michelle has a countersuit for property damaged by Chelsea's dog.
Now, describe the mattress when you came home.
It was completely disheveled. My comforter had been moved off to the side, and it was soiled. I went to Petco and got some kind of cleaner that's for this type of mess, but it had seeped into the mattress.
You couldn't get it out?
Exactly.
Okay. Ball's in your court.
Yes. As you can tell from the photos, that looks more of a throw-up kind of soil.
Could be.
And Pudge is known to have upset stomachs. He always comes home and he gets very excited to see both Chelsea and I, and he likes to have accidents.
I'm asking you.
Oh, yeah.
No attitude. The only attitude here is mine.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Plaintiff said that when she left on vacation, which sounds very logical, if she left from her home, and if there was a mess in her room, would not have left for a week unless she's a nut. I don't think she's a nut. So
she packed
when
her
she came came home, she immediately discussed this with you as soon as she saw you. Is that a yes or a no?
No.
Tell me when the first time you discussed this problem with the defendant was.
I had a meet
to her. You came home on the 20th?
Yes. I was screaming.
Was she home?
Yes. I was screaming that there was...
Mess.
A mess.
I'm not sure what it was, but there was a mess.
There was a mess in my bed, and my dog had not been home.
And what did she say?
And she tried to act a little surprised.
Not what she tried to act. What did she say?
She said that it wasn't her dog and that she had seen it, but did not want to clean it up because she didn't want to take ownership of it.
How many bedrooms are there in this apartment?
2 bedroom.
Now, you're with your boyfriend, is that right?
Yes.
Are you going to remain with him?
I believe so, unless if we can come to a peaceful agreement.
Well, what kind of peaceful agreement do you think you can come to?
I'm not quite sure at this moment.
Is what you're telling me going back to the apartment that you shared together has to do with her buying you a new mattress?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Is what you're telling me going back to the apartment that you shared together has to do with her buying you a new mattress?
Yes.
And that's a $3,000 mattress.
No, don't be ridiculous. She's not going to get $3,000 for a mattress. What size bed do you have?
A California king.
It would be a fair statement that you have no receipt for this mattress because it was a gift.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now you have a counterclaim. And your counterclaim is that her dog damaged some of your clothes. I don't care.
Your Honor, Pudge, he has this ointment.
I don't care. You moved in with dogs. I don't care. Her dog has ointment and rubs his face on your clothes. I don't care. That's what you moved in with. You have to give us $600 for a new mattress. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
You know, dogs are dogs. She came in. I shouldn't have to replace her mattress because she knows what dogs do.
She admitted that her dog had soiled my bed.
I refused to touch it.
$600 isn't even... I can't do this.
And also, it didn't smell, so I had no idea.
I'm not going to live with her. I'm just going to pay my rent.
I don't think that there's going to be a friendship anymore.
It all started because you didn't do the right thing.
A driver has trouble following the law.
You failed to properly register the car when you bought it. Is there any reason?
I actually had to go and do 90 days.
Got towed from someplace.
It was involved in a drug bust.
Who was busted?
A friend of mine.
Oh.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Tanya Karen and her daughter, Sherry Taylor, are suing Stephanie Chesney for car damages, rental fees, and fraud.
Order. All rise. It's case number 253 on the calendar, the matter of Karen Taylor versus Chesney. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
All right, I'm going to do a broad stroke story of what I understand happened in this case. And you can correct me only if there's any major problem with what I'm suggesting your complaint, answer, and counterclaim suggest. Who bought the car?
I did.
When did you buy this BMW?
Back in September of 2017.
Who did you buy it from?
Mark's Enterprise in Reedsville, North.
Just a sec. Mark's Enterprise?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is a 2007 BMW or a 2008?
2008.
Now, you used to, Miss Chesney, owned it for quite some time.
Correct.
When did you sell it?
I sold it in November 2016.
To whom?
I sold it to damagedcars.com. It was involved in a wreck.
And what did you get for it?
I got $1,200.
And how much did you pay to Mark's Enterprise for this car?
$3,300. Total loss.
Sure,
I'm sorry.
Paid $3,300 from Mark's Enterprise. The only problem is Well, several problems. You failed to properly register the car when you bought it. You did a lot of work on it, but you failed to register it at all.
Yes, ma'am.
And it got towed off your street.
Yes, ma'am.
That's not correct.
It got towed from someplace.
Yes,
From
ma'am.
where?
It was involved in a drug bust.
Oh. Who was busted?
A young man by the name of Jerome. And
how do you know him?
He's a friend of mine.
Okay. So the car was involved in a drug bust with a friend of yours.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was impounded.
Yes, ma'am.
And the car sat in impound for a while, and then they contacted you.
Correct.
And they said, you're the titled owner to this car. Do you want it? And if you don't want it, you have to pay the fees that have accumulated on it so far, because you want the car taken in the drug bust, month and year.
February 26, 2018.
And when were you called from impound?
I received a letter from the state of North Carolina. I picked up about April the 1st, 2018.
So the car had been sitting for a little over a month.
Correct.
So you went and got it?
Yes, I was told.
Whatever. Can't tell me what you went and got it, and you paid the impound fees.
Correct.
Which is how much?
I paid $1,480.
To make a long story short, you got to where she was. Police got involved. Ultimately, you got the car back.
Yes, ma'am.
And you say it was damaged.
Yes, ma'am.
Who cares? I don't care. Your fault. You failed to title the car. You failed to register the car. The car was involved in a drug bust with clearly somebody that you knew. What'd you want her to do? Let the car sit there in impound? Well, it's not going to let the car sit in impound. It's your fault. 100% your fault. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. If you did what you were supposed to do, you would have registered the car the day that you bought it. You might have found out, if you attempted to register the car appropriately, that Mark's Enterprise didn't have a good title, because she hadn't been signed off on the title. But you didn't do that. Is there any reason?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually had to go in, and also I did attempt to get it registered, but it was a lien release against damagedcars.com that actually did not fill the paperwork out right, which I, in turn, in process,
listen to me,
did it.
When did you buy the car?
I bought the car in September.
September of 17.
And I
remodeled. When did you go to jail?
January the 3rd.
September, October, November, December, January. That's 4 months you had to register the car. 4 months. Then you went to jail for 90 days.
Okay, I fixed the car. The car was total loss.
I don't care.
I know, but
I don't care.
It stayed in the shop
matter.
2 months.
It doesn't matter to me. It's your fault that she got a call to come and get this car because the impound fees are revving up.
I understand, but she sold the car in 2016. Yeah. She received the check for the car, cashed it, and she failed to give proper notice, as the state of North Carolina tells her to fill out a form that says she is no longer a registered owner of that car.
Right.
So she stole my car.
No, she didn't. She didn't steal your car.
It wasn't her car.
Just a second. It all started because you didn't do the right thing.
I couldn't do the right thing if the DMV gave me a letter.
From September, October, November, December, and January, the DMV gave you nothing because you didn't try to register it.
I got
just show me that you tried to register it the week, the month that you bought it. Show me.
It took me, I live in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is about...
You have no case. If you can't show me that you tried to register it within a month, show me that you tried to register it within the month that you bought it. Show me, don't come up here. Don't give me a whole bunch of papers. Make a circle around where you tried to register the car in September or October of 2017. Right there. So show me that you tried to register it in September.
This is another reassignment.
I tried twice.
That's another reassignment from the actual dealer.
May I say something, Your Honor?
No. You can show me something that says you tried to register the car when you got it.
Yes. And this right, I'm sorry, this right here. I apologize.
What is this?
It's a reassignment for title. to assign the title to my mother's name.
If I'm
And what happened with it?
The damagecars.com failed to send the right paperwork to me, and I talked to the title expert there. She got a form
You can't tell
her and send it to me. I took it back.
I just want the dates that all this, if all this happened in September.
I was having time. I had to go and do 3 months. When I came home, I tried to get the car back.
Would you do me a favor? Would you return this to her?
It's
Thank you very
fine,
much.
but
She's not giving you any money. Understand, she's not. You have your car back. You're very lucky. Is it back with you?
And it was damaged.
I don't care.
They drained every fluid in my car out. They damaged the tires and they scratched my car up.
I don't have
And
any...
they refused to give it back after the police told them to give it back.
Yeah, but did you get it back?
Damaged.
Did you get it back?
I got it back damaged.
We're done. Thank you very much.
Your Honor, I am countersuing.
Oh, I know you are. Forget it.
Okay.
Forget it?
Absolutely. Forget it. You knew that you sold the car.
Correct.
And what you would get...
Can I say something, please? Please?
Do what you
Listen, let me be a little more direct across this. We were going to be held responsible for paying the storage fees, or they were going to sell the car and sue us to get the money.
And then all you had to do was show that you had sold the car to damagedcars.com.
We did all
that. Listen to me. You went and got the car. You went
it was
and got
full of drugs.
Just a second. You went and got the car, and what did you do with it?
I put it in the garage. We never drove it. Never drove it.
Did you fix it?
I started fixing the car, not knowing her situation until June. When she showed up in June,
just a second.
we gave her the car back.
Just a second. What I'm telling you, sir, is I read your answer in your countersuit.
Right.
You're suing because you put work in the car, $1,500 or $2,000 worth of work, knowing you didn't own it.
Okay, but what about just the storage fee?
Bye.
I'd like to, Your Honor, I would like to
show
get the
you one
storage
thing.
fee.
One thing, please. I just want to show you where they were supposed to fill out a registration form that they don't
Listen to me.
own the car when they
Listen
catch
to me very carefully. The car that you failed to register was involved in a drug-related incident with somebody that you knew. Say goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I was told by the state of North Carolina that the car was registered to me and legally I was responsible for it.
She obtained property by false pretense.
I found out I had been involved in one of the largest drug raids in North Carolina, 5,000 bundles of cocaine and heroin.
She had the drug dealer's car. That's the way she wants to look at it.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cheatham versus Shue. Step forward.
Veronica Cheatham is suing her landlord, Charlie Shue, for property damage and the cost of a hospital visit.
Ms. Cheatham, you were living in an apartment. The building was owned by Mr. Chu, is that correct? That was subsidized by Section 8 housing.
Yes.
How long have you been living there?
A little over a year.
And where did you live prior to living in that apartment?
In a condo.
Was that also Section 8 housing?
Yes.
Where is it located?
In Anaheim.
How long did you live there?
About a year.
Why did you move?
The owner sold the property.
Prior to living there, where did you live?
On Lincoln for about 6 years.
And why did you move from there?
They no longer accepted Section 8 housing.
It is your claim that the apartment that you were in had many, many difficulties. And at one point, there was a leak in the roof that caused damage to your property.
Yes.
That Mr. Shue hired roofers to repair the roof, that the roofers did not do their due diligence, and they thought that there was an attic between the roof and your apartment. It turned out that there was not an attic, and there was further damage to your property.
Yes.
You want Mr. Shue to be responsible for that?
Yes.
When was the damage to your property?
The damage to my property started in October of 2017.
When did you move into the property?
July the 2nd. My lease officially started June the 12th, but I didn't officially move my belongings out of the storage until the 2nd of July.
And you had a one-year lease?
Yes.
So your lease was up in July of 2018?
Yes.
Why didn't you move?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You ask him, it's the property. Follow carefully what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying he's not responsible for the damaged property. I'm just saying that it's not time to refurnish your house.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Veronica Cheatham says her landlord, Charlie Shue, is responsible for property damage and injuries to her daughter as the result of his negligence.
Okay, so your lease was up in July of 2018?
Yes.
Why didn't you move?
I was looking for a place that accept housing. I found a place and served him my notice to move.
When?
I served him last month.
When are you moving?
In the middle of next month, I'll be out.
Now, the roofing company who was hired by Mr. Shu.
Yes.
Did they give you any money for the damage that was caused to your apartment?
They gave me $100 for laundry. He said he felt sorry that I was not notified.
We already said.
Yes.
What else?
That's it.
You have photographs of what was damaged?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at them. I can't tell what this is.
That's a box full of water from the rain before they started to replace the roofing.
Well, what was damaged of yours?
That's a tablet, photos.
Oh, I can't see this. This is...
It's more pictures that once I actually start taking the items out. It was an electric guitar, a piano.
When did this roof damage come in?
In January.
Mr. Shu, did you go to the residence in January?
I go there several times.
Well, did you go there in January after the roof damage?
Her apartment, I don't remember.
No, he didn't.
Did you notify him?
Yes, I did, through text message. He told me to go out and communicate with them myself and let them know that the roof was coming in. However, they don't speak English, so we couldn't even communicate. I started fussing back with him, letting him know how bad it was and demanding he come see it himself. He told me no, to reach out to them. They didn't actually get in communication and come in and help me until the third day after I started fussing with the owner of the company stating that the roof had came in on my daughter's head. That's when he told them to come to the door to give me something for laundry to try to take off a little ease off me from being angry.
I would like you to tell me why you didn't go over and see the damage.
Okay, Your Honor, here's the thing. Today we have a technology, right? We have a cell phone. We can use a text message. She sent me the pictures. So she notified me there's water leaks from the roof. I asked her, I have evidence here also. I asked her, what is the problem? What is the damage? She has a list here.
I'd like to see it.
Okay, no
That's
problem.
not truthful, Your Honor. When I first reviewed notes.
Exhibit, I call it exhibit 9, 10, 11. I can show them.
Okay, so this is what you told him was damaged.
I'm not sure which one you're looking at because there was so many damages over a period of time.
Just a second. The only email about damage that I have, you may have others. And if you have others, I'm more than happy to look at them. But this is what he asked you. You said, when will you be replacing my property? And he said, what is it? I will take a look tomorrow. And you responded with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. A white Wii, a black tablet, a camera, a Paw Patrol piano. I don't know what that is.
It's a floor piano. It's with keys that they can, can dance on and they make noise and so forth.
It's for kids?
Yes.
Costs what, $49? Yeah.
Probably so.
A camera, what kind of camera?
It was a Samsung camera and a Samsung tablet.
Okay, you have receipts for those?
No, I don't, not anymore. They broke into my home. A lot of things were taken.
And a white Wii?
That's the one before the newest one came out. He has the newest one, but that's the one right before it. And we were battling over what it cost. At this point, I've only seen it for $169. He keeps finding different places every time he Googles.
So far, at most, you have $300 worth of damage that you...
On that one email, it's more emails.
Just a second. As a result of the roof. From what? Just a second. Now I'll see any other emails that you have that are inconsistent with this email that you sent to him. Follow carefully what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying he's not responsible for the damaged property. I'm just saying that it's not time to refurnish your house.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now, you have a bill for me for cleaning up the apartment?
No, he has it.
Did you pay it?
The roofing company is responsible for everything.
Just a second. She doesn't have to go after the roofing company, Mr. Shu. You have to go after the roofing company because you hired them.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Veronica Cheatham says her landlord, Charlie Shu, is responsible for property damage and injuries to her daughter as the result of his negligence.
Okay, let me see other emails that you sent to him, when they were, and with other property that you allege was damaged. Don't give me all that stuff. I don't want all that stuff. I want to see an email that you sent to him, like you did here.
We dealt between email and text. It's right here
I want
text.
to send
It's in text, and that's all the violations behind it that was wrote up from the damages.
No. I want to see the list. I have a current list here, January, when there was damages to your house.
Yeah, the current list started off with him and the roofer, but once talking to legal advice, it said it's not on the roofer, it's all on him, and I forwarded it back to him.
Okay, so this doesn't give me a list. A list. When you sent him a list of what was damaged is what I need.
It was just over a period of time, different items. It wasn't just a grand list at one time.
Sorry,
that's every time something went out, I told him what it was through text.
It's not happening.
So he could just damage my property and it's not happening.
No, you're going to get paid for what you told him was damaged.
I told him over a period of time, a lot of things through text. He never shows up. He don't come. He's always saying, I'm at a resort. I'm in China. I'm here. I'm there. I can't force him to come actually take a look. And, of course, things that you find discovered damage, you don't find in one day. Over time, when you go to it, you find out that stuff's been damaged. The whole entire roofing had to be replaced.
Did you replace the roofing?
Yes, I have.
But I was damaged through all of the replacement. He never informed me that the roof was going to be replaced. So I come home to chaos. The whole roof, debris all over my unit. And on top of that, I tell him, come see how bad it is. You see a picture, that's still not seeing the physical damage actually being there.
I want to explain something. He's not giving you $5,000.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on...
I want to explain something. He's not giving you $5,000.
I mean, but he's going to do something for the damage.
No, I have $300 so far. Now, you have a bill for me for cleaning up the apartment?
No, he has it. I forwarded it to him when he came.
Did he pay it?
No, he did not.
Did you pay it?
Okay, here's the thing.
No, not here's the thing. I don't want to here's the thing.
I didn't pay,
Did she?
But the roofing company is responsible for everything.
Just a second.
They pay.
No. She doesn't have to go after the roofing company, Mr. Shu. You have to go after the roofing company because you hired them. That's not her problem. Who did she hire to clean the apartment?
Okay. I gave it to you, the evidence. One page, it shows the roofer. They gave them $100 for cleaning, for the laundry. Okay.
Only.
Also, they sent 2 people helping clean the
third day help
room.
vacuum.
All I want you to do.
They did already.
No, they didn't.
All I want you.
You have not done anything. You're not doing due diligence. You put the blame on everybody instead of taking care of it.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. We're done. Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He is a slumlord, and my paperwork proves that.
So when they give me a notice, I always get a permit, hire somebody to fix it.
I hope this matter makes him do better as a landlord.